Hey, thank you, Craig. How's my voice sound today?
A little raspy.
What? Doesn't sound 100%?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I've been coughing a lot lately.
Oh, no.
Fruit basket. Really?
Yeah, but I don't think it's the coughing is not anything bad. It's the fever that drives me crazy.
Great.
Okay.
What? So it all happened after I got my flu shot.
When did you get it?
Was it, I think,
Tuesday?
Monday or Tuesday? Somewhere in there?
You shouldn't still be feeling that.
Yeah, right. See
on
there?
Friday. It's like a one-day thing.
See? Yeah, maybe I was getting sick anyway. Who knows? I mean, I feel like $1 million.
Is everybody sick?
Well, not everybody, George.
Seems like it.
You guys aren't.
No, but we've been around people who've been sick.
And I wouldn't say that I'm sick. I just have I definitely have a little bit of something. But I don't feel horrible or...
Okay.
I just got a little bit of chest congestion, maybe? I don't know. Well, I tell you what's going to really cheer me up today, though. You know what today is?
Jan 5.
Jan 5.
The day before your big day.
Yeah, that's right. What are you doing tomorrow? Going to put on the camouflage? And...
I'm storming the Capitol Grill and having a burger. That's what I'm doing. No, I'm celebrating today, not tomorrow. I'm celebrating today because today is National Whipped Cream Day.
Whoa!
Oh, it is a big day.
Big day.
You guys perpetuate this weird myth that I love whipped cream.
Not a myth.
It's not a myth. It's the most amazing thing I've ever witnessed in a restaurant.
Seriously, you guys would be appalled if you looked in my refrigerator because there are... I'm not exaggerating. Right now, if you looked in my fridge, you would find 12 cans of whipped cream.
You just don't want to run out.
12, yeah. I don't like running out, so I probably have, I think, 2 cans of regular whipped cream, about 7 cans of extra creamy whipped cream.
Extra creamy?
Yeah, and then there's, I think, 3 cans of peppermint whipped cream. And there's still like 3 cans of pumpkin whipped cream.
God.
I don't know what all that adds up to, but it's somewhere in there.
You know, we give you a hard time about it, but if you're going to pick an item, that's a pretty awesome addiction.
Yeah.
Because it does taste great.
Yes. And I've never understood how somebody can be happy with they get a dessert and they just put a little dollop.
They barely put it on
Just a little
there.
dollop, just a little thing up there. I'm like, how can you not want just... the whole thing drenched in that?
Now, you don't need a mountain like you put on there, which is just... That one waitress, I can't remember where we were, if it was California or whatever, and you said... he said something like, put as much whipped cream as humanly possible and then put a little bit more.
Right.
And she came back and she did exactly that, and you ate it with no problem.
The best waitress I've ever had. She was awesome. She understood the instructions perfectly. Because so many times I will tell them an extra whipped cream, like more than you think I should be having, you know. I try to really emphasize that I want a lot of it. And their idea of a lot is shockingly low to me.
2 dollops.
Yeah.
2 small dollops.
And they think that is like, oh, that is really gluttonous. I'm like, you don't know what gluttonous is.
Give me half the can.
You just stick around, wait around for about 5 minutes and watch what's about to happen. You'll see what gluttonous is.
Should you be charged extra by a restaurant?
I've told them that before. I said, if you have to charge me double on the dessert, fine.
And they probably should, because you use, I think, half a can.
Yeah, I was about to say, the regular can of whipped cream that you get at the grocery store, that's a 2-serving can to me.
He's not really making this up either.
But you guys have probably never even tried pumpkin-flavored whipped cream or peppermint whipped cream.
No.
Really good stuff.
What do you put pumpkin on?
Really good stuff.
Like with what? Like with ice cream or something? Or because you wouldn't put it on pumpkin pie. That's too much pumpkin.
I agree with you. I've tried it on pumpkin pie. I don't like it on that. I got to have regular whipped cream on pumpkin pie. So you know what I put pumpkin whipped cream on?
Soup.
My tongue.
You just Go straight.
That is
to the
what
mouth.
I have found that pairs the best with pumpkin whipped cream is straight into the mouth.
You seriously do that? You'll take a can and just cannonball it?
George. I'm not the only one. In America, people mainline whipped cream all
I've
the
never
time.
done that.
You've never
In my
mainlined whipped
78
cream.
years here on Earth, I have never done that.
That is ridiculous.
I
You're
swear
full of
I haven't.
lies.
No, I haven't.
I think I did it when I was a kid.
Well, I think it's important to still be a kid at heart and at diet. So today is National Whipped Cream Day.
Boy, all right.
But these national days, I think, they're BS.
Yeah.
I think that they're basically made for the media.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
just made for something that the
Here's some
media can talk
content.
about.
You guys can laugh about hot dogs today. And
Because on the National Day calendar,
Hot
which
dog.
has a registered trademark after it,
yeah.
it says today is National Whipped Cream Day, National Screenwriters Day,
Okay.
National Keto Day, like a keto diet, and National Bird Day. So
Yeah.
Larry Bird.
Every day is about 5 different national
Yes,
day
right.
ofs.
Right. Think about how many things there are in the world.
Hold on, that's going to take me a while.
Everything
And if
has a day.
And if they all have a national day, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is National Cuddle Up Day, National Technology Day,
Generic.
National Play Outside Day.
Okay.
Why would they choose that on January 6th?
Yeah.
Right, good
In
question.
Minnesota, that's not going to work out very well.
Right.
National Bean Day and National Shortbread Day tomorrow. So that's
All right.
That's the deal on the thing there. P1 Jamie sends this email. He said, since you guys were doing TikTok, we were talking about ticks. We were doing TikTok.
That's
Oh, I get it.
I wanted to share an experience I had a couple years ago. I went to Kansas to see family in the spring to look for morels in the woods, MORELS.
Yeah.
What is that?
Is that a mushroom?
I guess
Maybe.
maybe.
Yes, it's a mushroom.
So he's looking for these mushrooms in the woods. He says, I went back to the house, and the next morning I was going to drive home, but while showering before the drive, I found a tick right in the center of the head of my... And think of the word. It's the word pen and then the word is, but they're
Yeah.
pushed together.
Penis. You can say that.
Very
It's
medical.
a medical term.
He says,
An
I got out.
anatomical part.
Yes. I got out of the shower and tried to touch a hot match to it to get it to release.
No,
What are you doing?
Oh,
Not
yeah.
down there.
Well, not down there, but yeah, I've done
Yeah.
that before. Not down there.
I've
but,
heard that, but you would never hold a...
Well, where would you do it then, George?
like I had one on my leg one time, and
But that's
it
still
does
skin.
right, but it makes them back out. I've seen it happen.
Huh. Seems like there's better ways. There's got to be better ways of getting the tick to release than that.
I think that's the only
Like
way.
just hold up a little sign that says free beer this way, and you point away from your
They don't
skin.
like beer. They just like
and
blood.
they'll go, wait, what's that? Oh, interesting. He says, I tried the flame thing, the hot match thing, to get it to release, but it didn't release. I had to take tweezers
Wakahana.
and pull it out, which left its head buried halfway in my junk.
Well, that's your worst fear, right? If that
I didn't mention
in there.
a word to the family, and I headed out the door. So he didn't even say goodbye to them. He just ran out the door because he's so panicked. Drove all the way back to Dallas in a panic. When I got home, I dug the rest of the tick's
Wow.
head out of me with a needle
Oh,
and then scrubbed it with alcohol. I had a scar for months. But thank goodness I didn't go crazy or get Lyme disease. I've known someone who got the Lyme disease.
I heard it's terrible.
I don't think they were right for years.
Yeah.
Like they were just worn down. They had no energy. I don't understand that Lyme disease.
I don't
There's
either.
also some tick-borne disease that makes you hate meat.
Huh.
Like you can't eat meat afterwards. Isn't that weird? So you don't mess with ticks. And I think most people never think about it when they go tromping through a place that they're going to get ticks.
Mm-mm.
They don't tuck their pants in their boots, and they don't put on the tick getaway juice on their skin. What is it? Which one's the most effective? Is DEET effective at repelling ticks?
Seems like I've used a spray of some sort, but you put that on your pants, right?
Paracardin?
Yeah.
Something like that? I can't remember. Yeah, there's one of them I remember putting the spray on going, it says here that it repels ticks. Okay, I'll use this stuff. Spray it all on, then read the can. Do not use on human skin, clothing only. Oh. How many chemicals have we exposed ourselves to by not reading instructions? And then Kelly sends this, says, "Good morning, Gordon. I was on vacation in September with a woman who has been a prison psychologist in the prison where Epstein died.
Uh-huh.
She said there is no way it was a suicide.
Sounds like a pretty good source.
That with all the surveillance that they have there, it's virtually impossible to commit such an act. Her opinion was that he was definitely murdered / silenced."
Okay.
I mean, it sounds official. I mean, he's got the month right. September is a month.
Right.
And there are women who are prison psychologists. So it all checks out.
And the
I
detail
unalived myself?
the detail that there's a lot of surveillance.
Yeah.
A lot of surveillance.
A lot of surveillance.
A lot of surveillance.
And that it's virtually impossible. So if something is virtually impossible, then it must be impossible.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then Dell ends with this. We were discussing how uncomfortable it is. The fact that we probably have had our picture taken with a person who's done horrible things.
Yes.
Like we probably had our picture taken with a murderer. And we don't know
Possibly.
it. Because we pose for lots of pictures with people. And all these pictures of Epstein, who he cavorted with lots of famous people and lots of notable people. So they all have their picture with Epstein, so they're all sweating. But Dell brings up, he says, remember the Rosalind Carter picture that was taken with John Wayne Gacy?
Really?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
I have seen that before. Yeah.
It makes me insane.
Yeah.
So was she in on all that?
No.
How do you know? Isn't it suspicious,
sweet
though, that she
Rosalind Carter.
appeared in a picture like she does these photo ops with John Wayne Gacy all the time?
I'll be damned. There it is.
You found it?
Look at doesn't John Wayne Gacy look like he was an old Alabama coach?
Like their defensive coordinator or something.
I don't think it's funny to be joking about a guy who did that to so many young boys.
So I wonder
indeed.
why they took this picture together. Like
She was
doing an
all
appearance somewhere
She
and-
thought it was all funny.
no.
No.
How do you know?
Because she was sweet Rosalind Carter. She wouldn't-
Well, and don't you think it's a little bit suspicious that she's been silenced now?
at the age of 150.
So this was May.
Yeah, but suspiciously.
May of 78. They met at a Polish Constitution Day celebration in Chicago.
Wait, could you give me just 30 seconds? That's all I need. Just about 30 seconds to
The
steady
Polish
myself against the table.
Constitution.
6 months later, he confessed to the murders of 32 young men.
But given the fact she was a Democrat, I bet
that was the only Constitution she ever read. She didn't read our Constitution.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
By the way, you can hear him in our hallways now.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
The
Yeah.
gray one?
Yeah, because they got an FM signal that broadcasts him now, so now we hear him in our hallways yelling about the
Another outlet
Constitution.
for that.
Okay.
All right, Gordo, thank you. That's the ODEC 633 on the ticket.
Okay, we have picks against the P1 every Friday during the football season, and I think Junior has won the last 50 in a row. But we've had a very close race this year.
Yeah, I don't think I've won 50 in a row. I think it may be 2 in a row, but I don't think I'm winning this year. George? When we last picked games, it was right before Christmas vacation, and we picked against P1 Eric. It's been so long since we've picked games that the high schools were still playing. P1 Eric had one hell of a week. He went 5-0 in the high schools, 5-0 in the colleges. We picked the bowl games and the national semifinals.
Dang, Eric.
And 3-2 in the NFL games that week. He went 13-2.
Whoa.
That is the best a P1 has done this season. You had a good week too, George. You went 11-4.
What's up?
I had the worst week of the three of us. I went 1-4 in the colleges, which led to my 9-6 record overall. So,
ouch.
I lost a few games on you. So our overall standings heading into this final weekend of picking games, you're in first place by 4 games. You're 132-73 overall.
Freaking loser.
I'm 4 back at 128-77, so it's going to be tough for me to catch you. And despite Eric going 13-2, the P1s collectively are 12 games back of you, George. They're 120-85.
Okay. Over 500 P1 year, so that's very solid. And trying to give the P1s an amazing comeback here in our final week is Colin in Fort Worth. Morning, Colin.
What's going on, fellas?
Not too much. How are you?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Just on the way to the gym and then to work for the day.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a project manager for a general contracting company out here in Fort Worth.
Okay. What is your football expertise level, your level of expertise?
Well, let's say in my freshman year in high school, it was the last year I played football. I did make a game-winning kick against Boswell. We won 9-6 that day, so that's
okay.
my
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
that's more than we've done. That's pretty impressive.
Were you a straight-on kicker or soccer style?
soccer style. And I actually kicked. They wouldn't let me use a soccer cleat and a football cleat, so I actually kicked barefooted.
Whoa!
Wow.
Hello.
Yeah. I had one football cleat on my left foot, and then I kicked barefooted on my right foot.
Interesting.
Great. I think Junior brought that up a couple of years ago. Whatever happened to the barefooted kicker? You just don't see it anymore.
They broke the top of their foot. That's what happened.
Yeah. It did always look painful. All right, Colin. Well, it's a little bit different. We're just going to pick the national championship game and then 9 NFL games as we go into the 17th game, Week 18 in the National Football League. But we'll start off with the national championship game on Monday night, Washington and Michigan, the future Big Ten championship game as well. 14-0 against 14-0. Who you like, Junior?
I like Michigan, and it's a 4.5-point spread, and I think Michigan will cover that spread. I don't trust Washington. After watching them against Texas, Penix is the best player in the postseason.
Yep.
But I just don't like how sketchy Washington is. And Michigan can be sketchy too. They can all be sketchy. But I think some of the coaching decisions and the mistakes that the Washington players seem to make more than just about in any other good team, I think it's going to catch up with them. And I think this is finally the year for Harbaugh. Give me Michigan, and I think they'll win by a touchdown.
What do you think, Colin?
Man, I'm gonna go with my father-in-law's team, Big Blue. Go with Michigan, and I say they win by 10.
Wise choice to go with the father-in-law's team. Yeah, I like Michigan too, and I think they combat Penix with pressure. They had 6 sacks against Alabama. I'm thinking they may duplicate that Monday night. They are so good up front, and I think they can run the ball against them too. So, yeah, I'll go with the Wolverines as well. To the NFL, and on Saturday night, we've got 2 games, both with playoff implications. It's a battle for the AFC South between Houston and Indy. Indy's getting a 1.5 at home.
Yeah, and all of these games this weekend are really, really hard to pick because in a lot of the games you don't know who's playing, or you do know, but you can't figure out if that benefits that team or not, and the other team may be sitting players too. This might have been the hardest game of the weekend for me to pick because they both need to win. Indy's getting points at home?
Yeah.
Houston has gotten to the point where they're that good, where they're favored on the road against a possible playoff team. There's something weird about that to me, so give me the Colts.
What do you think, Colin?
Take C.J. Stroud in the Texans, and I think C.J. Stroud to win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he has been incredible. I love watching him play. But you know who else has been impressive? Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take Indy in the 1.5. I'm right there with you, Junior. That's a fascinating story, though. Either team wins 10 games. I wouldn't have guessed that before the season started or even after a couple of weeks of the season.
Especially for Indy after Richardson went down.
Right, yeah.
Because he looked great early on.
Yeah. Okay, here's another strange one. Pittsburgh playing for their playoff lives at Baltimore. The Ravens don't have anything to play for. They're sitting Lamar Jackson, but they're still getting 3.5 at home. And these two teams hate each other.
Yeah, if this were a normal game and everybody was playing, Pittsburgh would be getting 7, probably.
Probably.
But Baltimore's getting 3.5. Baltimore hates Pittsburgh, and I think even with backups, Baltimore would like nothing more than to beat Pittsburgh here. And they're at home. I know they may give this thing up. They may not care as much as I think they care about beating Pittsburgh, but I'm going to take Baltimore and the points at home.
I like that. What do you think, Colin?
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin just knows how to win in division games, and with it being their playoff lives, I think Pittsburgh's going to pull this one out.
Still hadn't had a losing season, right?
Right.
Incredible. Yeah, I like Junior's reasoning on Baltimore. I just think they have so much pride no matter who is playing, and especially the fact that it's Pittsburgh. If they do lose, it's going to be by 1 or 2 points. So I'll take the 3.5 and the Ravens at home.
All right, Colin, let's go to the Sunday games, which will include the Dallas-Washington game that we'll get to. But first, Chicago is getting 3 at Green Bay. Packers, potentially, Cowboys' opponent in the first round of the playoffs.
Justin Fields has looked pretty good here these last few weeks.
Yes.
I think I think I'm going to take the Bears in the 3.
Okay, Colin?
Yeah, I can't trust Chicago. I got to stick with the Packers, even though it was a catch.
I think I like the Packers here. This is another really difficult one because Chicago has been playing better, but I'll take Green Bay at home. All right, the Cowboys' last opponent, Detroit, at home this week, hosting the Minnesota Vikings, and the Vikes are getting 3.5.
I think Detroit takes out their frustration on the Vikes. Give me the Motor City Kitties.
Colin?
Yeah, George, you took the words out of my mouth, man. I think they're pretty upset, and they're just gonna. I think they're gonna blow the doors off them.
They could be really upset, or they could be in a funk after losing that game the way they did. But I agree with you guys. I still like Detroit. Seattle at Arizona. Seattle is currently 8-8. They have a shot, I believe, an outside shot here.
Yeah.
They need some help, but they have a shot, so they do need to win. Arizona's got nothing to play for but pride, but they've been better since Kyler Murray came back. And in this game, Arizona's getting 3, George.
Another strange game. Seattle.
Colin?
You know, I didn't realize how big of a Cardinals fan until I was last week. But yeah, I'm taking Seattle here.
Yeah, I like Seattle too with something to play for. Kansas City sitting Patrick Mahomes at the Chargers, and Kansas City is getting 3.5.
I still think they'll beat the Chargers. Give me KC.
Colin?
Yeah, the Chargers are terrible. Give me Kansas City.
I'm with you guys. The Chargers are the biggest disappointment in the NFL this season.
Of course, if you watch the Kansas City offense with Patrick Mahomes,
I know. That's the thing.
What is wrong with them?
Yeah, this will probably be a really ugly game, but I'll take the Chiefs. The Rams are getting 4 at the 49ers. The 49ers have the number 1 seed clinched in the NFC. The Rams have a wild card clinched, And the Rams are sitting Stafford and Kupp and Donald, and the 49ers are sitting Purdy. Not sitting pretty, they're sitting Purdy.
So they go with Darnold.
Yeah.
And I still think they have enough to take care of business. Give me San Francisco.
Colin?
San Francisco.
Yep, I like the Niners there. Buffalo at Miami. Miami at home getting 3.
Coming off a whooping.
This is for the AFC East crown.
Give me Miami. I think they'll cover.
Colin?
Give me Buffalo, man. Buffalo's tough.
I like Buffalo, too. I don't like Miami in games against good teams. I think the only good team they've beaten is Dallas.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And they usually get blown out by good teams. So I'll take Buffalo. And finally, 3:25 Sunday afternoon, Dallas at Washington. The Commanders at home are getting 13.
We tried to build a case earlier for Washington, and it's just really difficult to do. And this Cowboys team has handled teams that are terrible, and I think they'll handle Washington with no problem. I'll take the Cowboys, no problem.
Colin?
6 dollops of whipped cream for the Dallas Cowboys.
I envision a game where in the fourth quarter on the sideline, Dak is eating a turkey leg and watching Dolly Parton videos. Out of the game because the Cowboys are up by 35. Give me Dallas.
All right, there we go. Our final picks. Colin, thanks. Have a great weekend.
Absolutely.
And
You as well.
thanks for listening to The Ticket.
Absolutely. Thanks, fellas.
All right, we'll see you. There goes Colin from Fort Worth. It is 7:06 on The Ticket. Up next, we got Gordo and Muse in the news.
A sad passing and the worst place to hide next. Thank you, Craig. Well, we had another shooting yesterday at a school, this time in Des Moines, Iowa. A 17-year-old gunman killed a 6th grade student and wounded 5 other people. So the 5 wounded people included 4 students and 1 school administrator. It's the second school shooting of this very young year, and one of at least 4 mass shootings that have unfolded this year in the U.S., according to the Gun Violence Archive. I didn't know there was such a thing. But
it was also a little out of Des Moines. It was in a little town called Perry, which is northwest of Des Moines, population 7,000.
Yeah, I should say, yes, near Perry High School, near Des Moines, Iowa. The gunman died of a self-inflicted wound, was armed with a pump-action shotgun and a small caliber handgun, and had made several social media posts around the time of the shooting. So, during a search of the high school, officers also found an improvised explosive device. I'm a little confused as to the 6th grader at the high school. Have you seen the explanation on that?
No, I haven't, and I thought I heard middle school in the first reports.
Well, in some places, I think 6th grade is middle school.
Yeah. But you're saying
you're saying it was a middle school facility.
That's what I heard initially, but I could be wrong.
I wonder if it's one of those places that they have it on the same campus.
Could be.
There's 2 schools, same campus or something.
Yeah. Small town like that, maybe.
And it happened early in the morning. The first alerts that authorities got were at 7:37 in the morning. So at the very beginning of the school day. Yeah, they found the improvised explosive device. What's the difference in an explosive device and an improvised one? What's the difference in an improvised explosive device and a homemade explosive device?
Yeah, I would think homemade and improvised would be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when we make something that's homemade, we don't call it improvised, do we?
I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
They didn't get
Sometimes you would.
explosives from a military's surplus warehouse. They made it themselves.
Like you
That's what I'm
can
thinking.
you can buy lasagna at the store, or you can make it at home. But when you make it at home, you don't call it improvised lasagna.
No, but you might say the recipe was improvised.
You could say that, yes. So I guess what they mean is by improvised explosive devices, he had zero instructions.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but I'm seeing improvised lasagna at Dan Silverleaf next week.
Okay, that's not a band.
I hope it is.
No, it isn't. That would be a funny band name. If I saw that name on a marquee,
you gotta go, guys.
I would laugh. But I certainly wouldn't laugh now.
No.
You said no motive known yet, although I did hear yesterday that he may have been bullied.
A distraught kid. Jeez.
As a parent, one of my greatest fears is that my child will be bullied at school because I don't know how you handle that.
Well, not this way.
No, I'm not talking about the child. Well, I am, I guess, partly talking
Shooting
about the
up
child
the school.
handling that. Obviously not this way, but how you handle that as teacher, parent, child, and you just would feel so awful for your child.
And even the more broad question now of, I think parents face a tougher call now about sending their kids to school.
Because
where homeschool is such, I think, a more viable option now than it's ever been. These schools are, I don't think it's too dramatic to say they're targets. Look how many school shootings we have.
Yeah, but it's that balance you have to have of, yes, you could keep your kids safe by keeping them at home and sheltered, but we also have to live. We also have to live in a world, and the trade-off of living in the world is you have to be exposed to the world.
No doubt.
Also, with the bullying thing, hasn't it ramped up tenfold now because so much of the bullying happens online?
Yeah, so a lot of parents don't even know when their kids are being bullied because the kids aren't sharing it with them. There's no marks on their body because it's cyberbullying.
Right.
Yeah.
This makes you feel icky all over, doesn't it? A guy in Salt Lake City was found dead inside an airplane engine.
Oh, I heard this story.
I've read this story, and I don't quite understand it.
Nobody knows why he ran out there, right?
So he breached an emergency exit door at the Salt Lake City International Airport, and he walked onto the tarmac and climbed inside the jet's engine. God. Now, the jet at the time was sitting on a de-icing pad. It was having some back trouble, so it was sitting there on the de-icing pad, getting a little heat. And its engines were rotating.
Not really a place to do a joke series on icing a back.
Okay, improvised lasagna. So he climbs in there, and the engines were rotating. But he wasn't sucked into the engine.
Because they weren't going full blast.
I would think even idling jet engines would provide a little force, right? No?
I don't know.
Little, but I don't think it sucks you in like when they're cranked up.
What is the largest piece of a person to come out the other side of a jet engine? If you were sucked into a jet engine.
That is not a question worth answering.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
It would not be very large.
Because that really, like, you can't survive that, can you?
No.
So it obviously must not been going fast enough to drag him in
jam
there.
The engine? That guy's body did?
I don't know that he was
running.
Sucked in there at all, because they say that they found him unconscious inside an engine mounted to the wing of the commercial aircraft, which was loaded up with passengers sitting on the de-icing pad, and that they administered CPR and naloxone. That's that opioid overdose medicine. The save shot.
Oh.
So they gave him that too. They're not going to do that if he got sucked in there enough to jam up the engine.
Right.
George.
Well, I don't know. I'm asking you. You don't seem to have a clear grasp of what happened.
Stick an opioid save shot on a pile of improvised lasagna.
Still making jokes.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to put it in terms you might understand.
Oh, well, thanks.
So they administered this CPR and save shot to him, but he did not leave. They could not get him to breathe. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Only 30 years of age, is that right? So they're going to do an autopsy on him and get the results of those toxicology reports. But passengers were taken off the plane. Overall airport operations not interrupted, but those passengers, I guess, had to take a different flight, something like that.
Our apologies to everybody flying with us today, but a little problem with our right engine. We've got a human being in it, so...
We've had a possible opioid overdose in the right engine, if you look off to your right side.
Later, you look off to your right side, you'll see the Grand Canyon.
But that's later.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's very sad. Have you ever been on a plane that had something weird happen to it that delayed you for hours?
Oh, yeah.
I've been delayed for hours recently in May on 2 flights, delayed for 3 hours at the gate both times. But it wasn't for anything weird. They just said it was mechanical, which these days is code for we don't have enough personnel.
Should we have a law that requires full transparency from pilots?
Yes.
Because I bet you they told these passengers that they had a mechanical issue and they had to deplane.
Not lying.
You know what I'm saying? That's not being transparent. That's not being honest either. It may not be exactly a lie, an untruth. Well, I would say it is untrue because the plane doesn't have anything mechanically wrong with it.
Well,
other than a human in the engine.
Couldn't really run
well, he
there
wasn't
for about
stuck in the
30
engine.
seconds.
He was just sitting around the engine. Anyway, we've had a notable Hollywood death.
I haven't heard this.
I will tell you the age because that may narrow it down for you.
Okay.
The age of 100.
Really?
Mm-hmm. This
100.
person was in one of the biggest Disney movies of all time. I think it was a Disney movie. Pretty sure.
I don't
Disney
know.
movie 100. Don't know.
Yes, it was a Disney movie. 1964. It's the year of this movie.
Herbie,
Giving you
the
so
love
many
bug?
hints. Ooh. Hold on, I gotta sneeze.
Uh-oh.
I think I gotta sneeze. No, babe, I'm about to have an organism. No, it's a sneeze.
Tom Cruise.
Not fast. No, not Tom Cruise. He was not in any 1964 Disney movie. George mentioned Herbie the Love Bug. There was one actor who was in this particular movie and Herbie, and that's David Tomlinson, who played Mr. Thorndike in Herbie, and he played the dad in this movie.
Not Kurt Russell. He was in a lot of Disney movies, but he's
He
not
was in
100.
the Computer Wore Tennis Shoes or something, or The World's Smartest Man.
Yeah.
This person played David Tomlinson's wife in the 1964 movie Mary Poppins. She played Mrs. What's the name? Willabanks?
Julie Andrews?
No, not Julie Andrews. Julie Andrews was the nanny. She was Mary Poppins. The mom was Winifred Banks, played by Glynis Johns, who has passed away at the age of 100.
That's the notable death?
Feminist
Seriously, dude.
icon.
I would
Winifred
say
Banks, who
Most of
sang
our
the-
listeners
99%
have never
who
seen Mary Poppins.
introduced
listeners.
a generation of young girls to feminism with her song about the suffragettes in Mary Poppins.
Is that it? Now that was a drop. I would say 99% of our listenership has never heard of Winfred Boynes.
No.
What's her name?
Winfred Tubbs.
Glynis Johns, who played Winifred Banks, who sounds like a great linebacker, doesn't it? Winifred
Yeah.
Banks,
Yeah.
or maybe a receiver, defender. I don't know. Also, the Sherman Brothers wrote.
The family's kind of giving you funny looks right now in the front row.
What do you mean? Why?
Because you're making names about or making up,
what?
making
What's
fun of
what
their
are you saying?
name, making fun of their family's name.
No, Winifred Banks was her character's name.
No, character's name.
Gladys Johns?
Glynis Johns. God almighty.
Never heard of her. Sorry.
Well, may she rest in peace.
And then,
The family
congrats
regrets
making it
hiring
to
you to do
100.
the
That's
eulogy.
amazing. That's great.
Why did we get these guys for the eulogy? That guy just said I never heard of her.
know who she is. There's the sneeze.
Boy, that was a 2-minute delayed sneeze.
Yeah, they also wrote the song
For
her
a guy who's
in
had a cough, I
different-
don't appreciate the fact that you didn't cover up there.
I did. I turned away and covered up over here.
You sprayed it all over the window.
That's my prerogative as a feminist.
Well, that's a great loss.
Yeah.
You're being sarcastic.
No, I'm not.
At her very own funeral.
She made it to 100. Good for
She
her.
had an 80-year career.
So
That's
when we
great.
see flags at half staff the next
Well,
month,
they
it'll be
probably
because of
won't.
this.
Probably won't be at half staff for her, but Stephen Sondheim wrote "Send in the Clowns" for her to sing. She's the one who introduced
What
that.
a beating of a song.
Send
Once
in
again,
the
to
clowns.
the family, we want to
Seriously.
remind them that song will be sung
You
here
know
in a
it
few minutes
is.
after we finish
We've talked about it
talking here.
before.
You didn't like "Send in the Clowns"?
Oh.
Isn't it rich? Aren't we a pair?
Gosh, I didn't know that was from Mary Poppins.
No, that's not from Mary Poppins. She sang that in a different musical, but she was the first one to sing it, to perform it.
What a beating of a song.
I thought we were hearing it there for a second, and it cut
we
out
dumped
on us.
out.
Okay,
It knocked
well,
the station off the air.
So I'm reading about GJ.
No, call her that.
What a weird biographical note on her Wikipedia page. Following her marriage to David Foster in 1952, she became 14 pounds overweight.
That is kind of a weird note.
Isn't that odd?
It's kind of a
This
weird
is what
number,
happens
too.
when you democratize the encyclopedia.
It's really not that bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who would settle for that.
Wow. After the death of Olivia de Havilland in 2020,
She gained how much? What
John-
happened to your voice there?
I just had a little burp.
Yeah, what was that? Junior frog.
A little gurgle.
A little throat demon came out there.
It says after the death of Olivia de Havilland, Johns became the oldest living Academy Award nominee in any acting category. With the death of Betty White in 2021, she became the oldest living Disney legend. Well, that seems a little vague.
Legend. Quotes.
George, her family is right in front. Actually, her
Sorry.
family's all dead, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd like to
I guess you may have
apologize
kids.
to the family for my throat gurgle.
Yeah, that was so rude
It
of
was
you
inappropriate during a eulogy.
to have the devil talking between your words. Blade Runner is out and free. Oscar Pistorius is a free man. He was taken out of prison. They allowed him to escape prison without facing the paparazzi. They took him out the back way as he hopped like a kangaroo out the back entrance.
Just waiting for it.
What? Waiting for what?
You always
Him
have a
being
joke when we
released
talk about
because you
him.
support guys who shoot women?
Somehow this is going to turn into a War Games promo.
How?
You're just going to mention it. You're going to get around to it.
Because of Blade Runner?
Yeah.
Why? What does that have to
'Cause
do with
you'll
War
bring up-
Games?
Because there was a movie called Blade Runner,
Yeah.
released around the same time of War Games, and it'll
What?
allow you to promote your movie.
It's not my movie. It has nothing to do with War Games other than it being probably the greatest movie of the 80s. He was granted early release from prison. They announced that back on November 24th, and they had January 5th as the day that he would be released. And so he was let out. This is 11 years after he shot dead his girlfriend. And
Reva Steenkamp.
he always remembers that name.
That's weird.
What? What's weird about it?
That I'm
Just that you guys remember victims and serial killers'
I think it's
names
important
like no
to
other.
remember victims, George.
I remember notes about big news stories, if that's what you mean.
And shouldn't her name really be Reba Steenkamp? Steenkamp is
Yeah.
is
Or name
wrong.
shaming.
Yeah.
And then Reva is kind of a weird name. But in all fairness,
Right.
she was really pretty. Did you see her?
Oh,
Not
yeah.
that has anything to do with anything. But was she a model?
I think so.
Okay. But Blade Runner is out, and he is on the prowl for the next victim. So he's seeing every girl that he sees that he's interested in, he always looks at her and sees, could a door fit in front of that I could shoot through?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, that's what he did.
How about birthdays?
Shot through the bathroom door. Did you hear his excuse?
Thought it was a prowler.
Intruder.
Yeah. And it was on Valentine's Day, and he'd been fighting with her that day. And he thought that right after she went in the bathroom and he was going after her in the bathroom, he thought that maybe a burglar had snuck in right after her and was also in the bathroom with her. That female judge in Las Vegas that had that guy Superman over her bench and attack her, she's back at work. She returned to work a day later.
Okay.
It's tough.
Birthdays today. Robert Duvall from The Godfather, from To Kill a Mockingbird, from MASH, from Lonesome Dove.
Greatness.
He's 93.
Love him.
Diane Keaton, 78. She was also in The Godfather.
That's right. She was Michael's wife.
I am with you.
I disagree.
It was the worst chant ever.
Doesn't hold up.
People overrate those Godfather movies.
Yeah, they do, boy.
I thought Goodfellas was 50 times better than Godfather.
Great. Also great.
Chris Stein, the guitarist of Blondie, is 74. So,
well, they had hits.
That's just a service for his family, I guess, to let him know, hey, you might want to tell your uncle happy birthday. Marilyn Manson, 55. Bradley Cooper, 49. January Jones from Mad Men, 46. She played John Hamm's wife.
Yeah.
And people hated her for some reason. Why did they hate her?
I don't know.
Charlie Huff, 76.
Oh, yeah.
Ranger great. Knuckleball. I saw him take a no-hitter into the 8th in person.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Craig, I'll make sure I rearrange my day. Alex English, 70.
Great scorer.
Yeah.
Spent some time with the Mavericks.
Eric Fisher, 33.
Football player?
Hockey?
It just says NFL here.
Yeah.
Tyler, what does this mean?
Football.
1-1.
Oh, offensive line.
Number 1-1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Chiefs.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Offensive tackle.
Now you're up to date. Take on the day.
All right, thanks. That's Muse. 7:34 on the ticket. Coming up next, Friday morning scattershooting.
And now it's time for Friday morning scattershooting with your old pal Junior Miller, right here on Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310, The Ticket.
For the first Friday morning scattershooting of each year, I like to give the backstory behind this segment. For years, the legendary Texas sports writer Blackie Sherrod would write a Sunday column called Some Hither, Others Yon. It was a notes column. Blackie would start with a scattershooting target, then include interesting sports tidbits, fun facts, short stories, and a joke. It was my favorite column of the week. Then about 20 years ago, when Blackie retired, he called me over to his house. We went downstairs to his dank, dark basement where the walls were adorned with photos of Blackie with legends like Doak Walker, Earl Campbell, and Danny White, along with all of his awards and honors. It was then and there, and only then and there, that Blackie told me that he had decided that I was his pick to carry the scattershooting mantle forward. He commanded me to do a radio version of his beloved column. I told him I was honored and would try to do his legendary work justice each week at 7:35 on Friday mornings. And so here we are, 20 years later, about to start another year of Friday morning scattershooting, my tribute to the great Blackie Sherrod. So armed with that information and against that backdrop, scattershooting while wondering whatever happened to George's wheeze laugh.
It went by the wayside.
I miss it.
It went away with that ridiculous viral infection that I had for 7 weeks.
God, was that 7 weeks?
Yeah, it went
Damn.
forever.
If possible, bring back the wheeze laugh.
Okay. Listen to that. Man.
The Cowboys had 7 players selected to the Pro Bowl, including first-timers Brandon Aubrey and Deron Bland. Zach Martin made his 9th Pro Bowl, which ties Randy White for the 5th most in Cowboys history. Bob Lilly and Jason Witten hold the franchise record, each making 11 Pro Bowls. Larry Allen and Mel Renfro each made 10. Props to the great Steelers coach Mike Tomlin, who continues to be underrated. He just set a record with his 17th straight non-losing season. That's the longest streak for a coach beginning his career ever.
Wow.
Only Bill Belichick and Tom Landry have longer non-losing streaks, but neither of them did it to start their careers. Tomlin has never had a losing season.
And this team, this year, there were several points when you looked at them and thought, there's no way they're going to have a winning record.
I thought they were guaranteed to have a losing record.
Yeah.
But somehow Tomlin makes it work.
Incredible.
The football world lost a notable this week when legendary quarterback Frank Ryan passed away. Born in Fort Worth in 1936, the Paschal High grad played his college ball at Rice, then 13 seasons in the NFL for the Rams, Browns, and Washington. Ryan led the Browns to their last title when they won the NFL championship in 1964. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler and led the league in touchdown passes twice. But Ryan was so much more than just a quarterback. 6 months after the Browns' championship victory over the Colts, Ryan earned his Ph.D. in mathematics from Rice. While playing quarterback for the Browns, he was also a professor of mathematics at the Case Institute of Technology in Cleveland, and later taught math at Yale and Rice. He introduced the world of computers to the U.S. House of Representatives and created an electronic voting system there as its Director of Information Systems for much of the 1970s. He was also the athletic director at Yale for 10 years.
Good heavens, he's a Yale man.
Quite a Renaissance man. The great Frank Ryan was 87 years old. We are set for a national championship matchup between Michigan and Washington next Monday night. Once the Longhorns lost in the semifinals, that meant that TCU is still the only Big 12 school to win a game in the college football playoff, which started in 2014. In that time, the SEC has made the title game 10 times, the ACC has made the title game 4 times, the Big 10 3 times, and the Pac-12 twice. The Big 12 brings up the rear with TCU's lone appearance.
There you go, Horned Frogs.
Art Spander attended the Rose Bowl on Monday. Why is that significant? Because that was Art Spander's 70th Rose Bowl to attend.
Oh.
Spander is a longtime West Coast sports writer, and he had attended 67 Rose Bowls in a row until COVID snapped that streak, but 70 total now, having gone to his first Rose Bowl as a spectator, then as a concessions vendor, and the last 62 as a journalist.
You've been to the Rose Bowl before, right? Not the bowl, but the a game there, right?
Yeah, I've been to Cowboys-Bills Super Bowl there.
That's
I saw
okay.
an OU-UCLA game there.
God, it looks like such a great place.
It's the best setting in America for a football game.
Yeah.
Interesting college football trivia note posted by ESPN during that Rose Bowl game. Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy is now 26-1 as a starter. That is tied for the third best winning percentage for a college quarterback all time with a minimum of 25 games started. His winning percentage is .963, which ties him with Florida State legend Jameis Winston for third, behind two guys who never lost. Chuck Ely of Toledo, who back in the 1960s went 35-0 for the Rockets as their starting QB, and Jimmy Harris, one of Bud Wilkinson's quarterbacks at Oklahoma, who went 25-0 during the Sooners' record win streak in the 1950s.
Well, that's great trivia.
An NBA stat that I could not believe this week. Utah's Jordan Clarkson came off the bench against the Mavericks on Monday night and recorded the first regular season triple-double by a Utah player since 2008. Clarkson led the Jazz to a surprising win over Dallas with 20 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds, the first triple-double of his career, and the first for the Jazz in a regular season game since Carlos Boozer had one in February of 2008.
Carlos Boozer.
That's a stretch of 1,200 256 games for the Jazz without a player recording a triple-double.
Dang.
Also, Clarkson's triple-double was the first in more than 40 years for a Jazz player coming off the bench. Back in 1983, Mark Eaton had 12 points, 14 rebounds, and 12 block shots.
Whoa.
The Grambling women's basketball team set an NCAA record this week for the largest margin of victory in a men's or women's game
Saw that score.
when they beat something called the College of Biblical Studies by a final score of 159-18. That is a 141-point win.
Wow.
That broke the previous record set by Savannah State's women's team when they routed Wesleyan of Georgia 155-26 in November of 2018. The Lady Tigers led 46-6 after the first quarter and 82-10 at the half.
What conference they in? The little school, the little biblical school? ACC now? Or
The Apostolic Conference.
I don't know, but I think the College of Biblical Studies needs to pray about their basketball program and what they're doing.
Probably so. Hello.
This week's least competent criminal is 52-year-old Leonard Watiga, a Kenyan executive who followed his wife of 22 years to the United States, hoping to convince her to return home to him. But when she refused, Watiga decided to take her out. During an Uber ride, During a Uber ride, he told the driver that he needed a hitman. The Uber driver got in touch with Connecticut State Police, who enlisted him as an informant. And between September and December, the two engaged in multiple conversations about the plot, all of which was shared with authorities. Finally, last week, the informant introduced Watiga to a hitman, which was actually an undercover cop. Watiga asked that his wife be killed while he was away in Kenya so he'd have an alibi. And when he said that, he was immediately arrested and is being held on $5 million bond.
Off.
God, you just can't trust Uber guys anymore.
And finally, an FBI agent tells a Montana rancher, "I need to inspect your ranch for illegally grown drugs." The old rancher says, "Okay, but just don't go into that field over there." The agent turns and snaps, "Mister, I have the authority of the federal government with me. Do you see this badge? This badge means I'm allowed to go wherever I wish on any land, no questions asked. Have I made myself clear?" The old rancher nods politely and goes about his chores. Later, the rancher hears loud screams, and he sees the agent running for his life. Close behind is the rancher's bull. With every step, the bull is gaining ground on the agent. The agent is clearly terrified. The old rancher runs to the fence and yells at the top of his lungs, "Show him your badge! Show him your badge!" That is Friday Morning Scattershooting, the radio segment that unlocks the Hall of Famer in you.
If only there was
Thanks
a
for
water
hanging
that
out
would do
with
something
Old
like
Pal
that.
Junior Miller for
Stop.
another edition of Friday Morning Scattershooting. We'll see you next Friday right here on Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310, The Ticket.
Seriously, if they came out with a bottled water, I would drink that every day.
What? The bottled water? They have that
the
now.
Hall of Famer in you.
That happened 20 years ago when Tony Dorsett came out with ProFlow.
What? Really? That's awesome. All right, it's 7:50 on The Ticket.
Sure.
Up next in the emergency break of the week, something that has never happened on The Ticket in 30 years.
Patreon.com/sportsgreek.
It's time for the emergency break of the week.
In the class than they had boys.
Yeah.
And so they're just dressing in overalls for the production, whatever.
That moment when programming is brought to a complete halt by a wheels-off comment or technical meltdown.
And so it had been a controversy for 2 weeks because the principal just made this unilateral decision that no, you cannot play a role on stage, which dating back to Shakespeare.
Right.
Shakespearean times. That men played women all the time, and women played men. It doesn't matter. Anyways,
Why did you say it like
Shakespeare. I don't know. All right,
dating back to Shakespeare?
and then here's the last one. This is gone viral in Haltom
Let's
City.
see who yanked the break the hardest this week on the Little Ticket.
All right, the emergency break of the week is brought to us by Crawford Services. And we're going to give you 3 candidates. You get to vote on them at 888-787-1310. By the way, our next-gen stats tell us that in 2023, the person who led in e-brakes, he worked half the year, Norm, with 7. And I think he snuck one in relief work here in December. And then 2 people finished in second place with 5 e-brakes, myself and Gordon. right behind Norm.
Why do we suck so bad?
I don't know. We just do. My candidate number 1 this week is a man by the name of Mark Elfenbein, who was here for day 1 of the ticket almost 30 years ago. The thing about Elf, he's always going 100 miles an hour. He's just one of those guys who's always got the throttle down if he's walking or if he's talking. He is going 100 miles an hour. This was last Friday, and he was doing afternoons, I believe, from 1 to 3, cross-talking with Donovan and Matt. And the item that Elf is looking for here that he tried to say was baking sheet. Baking sheet.
Game, but taking you from 1 to 3 today is my man Elf. Mark Elfenbein.
Get up!
Right there.
So
Elfie,
much Elf.
what's up, buddy?
Man, I've never had so much fun in crosstalk during a commercial.
That was a fun break, wasn't
Let
it?
me tell you, that was fantastic. By the way, I cook my bacon on a baking in the oven as well.
A baking what?
Baking sheet.
Got it.
Good. Yeah, we needed to get that. We definitely needed to get that.
That's not what I thought
you didn't
you said,
hit the
what
double
you
E
said.
there. You did not get the double E out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How could we both say the exact same thing and you thought that what you thought we heard?
Because if you heard our conversation during the commercial.
I think you might have partook in our
You
conversation.
indulged before you went on the. Did you dump that, Ham?
Yeah, they got
you
it.
had to. Yeah.
Extremely clear.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd put any item on something like that, but that registers Elf as candidate number 1. Candidate number 2, this has gone viral this week. This is New Year's Day, Game Day's presentation on ESPN. They're on the floor of the Rose Bowl, previewing the national semifinal games. It is Desmond Howard, Pat McAfee, Joey Galloway, Kirk Herbstreit, Herbie, and Reese Davis. And Reese is introducing a story on Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe, talking about his line of merchandise that has the acronym LANK on it. It's supposed to stand for Let All Naysayers Know. But that's not how Reese started to describe it, and all hell broke loose on the set.
Jalen Milroe often wears his own branded apparel reading LANK across the front. It's an acronym that stands for Let a Naysayer Know. Being told by his former offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien.
That is not what I thought.
Is that not what you thought?
Boy, let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Of course.
The professional's right in the middle of his league. That's all right. I just keep going.
You almost lost me. You got real tight up here as you were. I just want to let you know.
Reese, you were too smooth with that. I thought it was going down. It was going down out here. Whoa. I looked over at Liz.
Oh, sorry about it. Let a naysayer know.
Let a
naysayer know. That's what we thought the whole time. That's what we all thought.
Man, Desmond Howard laughs a lot. I've never heard him laugh that hard. And the look on that set, everyone was just doubled over laughing. Because, as we said, we didn't see the full shot when he said that, but I think they all reared up when it's almost as if Reese Davis paused right there as he switched the words all in A.
Well, he leaned into the way he drug it out when he was saying naysayer no.
Yeah.
It did cause a real tense moment.
Yes.
Because the phrase is not naysayer. That's not the normal.
No. All right, one more time just to listen to the laughter.
Jalen Milroe often wears his own branded apparel reading LANK across the front. It's an acronym that stands for Let a Naysayer Know. being told by his former offensive coordinator,
That
Bill
is
O'Brien.
not what I thought.
Is that not what you thought?
Boy, let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Of course.
The professional's right in the middle of his lead. That's all right. I just keep going.
You almost lost me.
It got real tight up here as you were. I just want to let you know.
Reese, you were too smooth with that. I thought it was going down. I thought it was going down out here. I looked over at Liz, didn't you?
Oh, sorry about it. Let a naysayer know.
Let a
naysayer know. That's what we thought the whole time. That's what we all thought.
Joey Calloway with I thought it was going down. Oh, man. Way to go, Reese Davis. You are candidate number 2. And this is a great way to kick off 2024. We've had people accidentally cuss on the air before, and we've had to dump it. Have we ever had someone say back-to-back F-bombs?
Ooh, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Now, do you give this guy any sort of break? Because he was dealing with an injury. He just had shoulder surgery. Normally, I would give this person a break, but this person is Craig Rosengarten, who apparently was tapped on the shoulder, and he let some terrible words fly.
I'm going to bring us what I consider to be the top 10 moments of the college football season that got us where we are going into Monday. We're also going to have Kevin bring us the tailgate buffet. And, there's also, like, as Kevin said, we're going to...
Whoa! Okay, that was not Craig's fault. He just had shoulder surgery. And Michael comes in and gives him a good-natured slap on the shoulder, and he went down like a shot.
And we dumped it, too. We caught it in time.
So he F-bombed, and it was all for good reason.
That's our ender.
Yeah. All right, we're out.
Yeah.
See ya. Happy New
You
Year,
know what
y'all.
I smell? I smell a lawsuit.
Wow, for the first time ever, Rick Arnett rushes to the defense of Craig Rosengarten.
He just had shoulder surgery.
Yeah, usually he's shoveling dirt on him.
Right.
Now he's actually trying to help him out of the grave.
And so I thought about that, and I'm sure it was very painful if someone comes up and slaps you in the back after you've had shoulder surgery. But we've had hot coffee spill on people. You and I were almost struck by lightning in the first year of the ticket.
Yeah, you're supposed to fake cuss. That's what's you've got a bunch of other.
Yeah.
That's why we say Moses Malone and
right. We didn't say double F.
Ding Dong Wakahana.
We didn't, and I think he threw a mother in front of one of them too.
Oh, my
Lord! One more time.
I'm going to bring us what I consider to be the top 10 moments of the college football season that got us where we are going into Monday. We're also going to have Kevin bring us the tailgate buffet. And, there's also, like, as Kevin said, we're going to...
Whoa! Okay, that was not Craig's fault. He just had shoulder surgery. And Michael comes in and gives him a good-natured slap on the shoulder, and he went down like a shot.
And we dumped it, too. We caught it in time.
So he F-bombed, and it was all for good reason.
That's our ender.
Okay. All right, we're out.
Yeah.
See ya. Happy New
You
Year,
know what
y'all.
I smell? I smell a lawsuit.
All right, I think that Craig Rosengarten was making Grex noises there at the front. We need to combine that with the Bobgasm and see what we can come up with.
That's amazing. And it also makes me think that every time the T-Box hands it off to the tailgate, there's some sort of e-brake, it seems like. Just about every time that they have crosstalk. So is it Elf, Reese Davis, or Craig Rosengarten? Let's vote responsibly. 888-787-1310. Hello, you are on the ticket. Who wins the e-brake?
Hey, is this the Muse?
Yep.
This is Nick Sirianni. You wise guys know how the kids used to play that video game Cruisin' USA?
Yeah.
Well, now they're playing Cruisin' Alito and it's up. Give me Reese Davis.
Okay. Go easy. Come on. Hi, you're on the ticket. Who wins the e-brake?
Welcome back, Musers. It's Cruisin' Alito.
Hey, Cruz.
Hey, shout out to the P1 family, sweet Kylie and Ben Brook and her dad. Great. And Gordon, in honor of Robert Duvall's birthday, will Junior add Lonesome Dove to his Book of the Month resolution?
He started trying to read it and he bailed out.
All right, well, stick with it. Watch a movie first, and I vote for Elf. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks, Cruz.
Hi, you're on the ticket. Who wins E-brake?
I know George was disappointed he didn't get to hear his favorite N-word on ESPN, but I like to vote for the baby-shaking king himself, Craig Rosengarten.
Okay. And, yes, I don't have a favorite, what you said. Hi, you're on the ticket. Who wins? Hello.
Hey, Musers. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I'd love to give a quick shout-out to the Boner Boys. They know who they are, and give me Elf.
Okay. Hello. You're on the ticket, AM, FM, and stream.
Hey, Happy New Year, boys. I want to give a shout-out to fellow GPP1s, Cole Sellers and Daniel Dunn, and I'll vote for Rosengarten.
Thank you very much. Hello. You're on the ticket.
George?
Yep.
Good morning, Chief. How's it going?
Okay. How are you?
Pretty good. Hey, is Gordo around?
Yes.
Yes, I'm right here.
We're all three here.
What's up, Chief?
Oh, hi.
Hey, all right. I'm going to vote for... Was that Deddy?
Daddy was talking to Craig Rosengarten, but yeah, okay, this is the end of this call. Hi, you're on the ticket. Who wins the E-brake?
Hi, users.
Hey, Triple Fake Tiger.
Hey, Happy New Year and Mark Elfenbuzz.
Okay. That wasn't that painful.
It was efficient.
Right. That was fine. Yeah. Hi, you're on the ticket. Who wins?
Good morning, Musers. Let me vote for Rosen, and you guys have a blessed 2024.
Oh, that's
Thank
very
you.
nice. You too. Hi, you're on the ticket. Who wins? Amazing. Hello.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Give me Reese Davis.
Okay, thank you. Hi, you're on the ticket. Would you stop it? It's making it worse. Hi, you're on the ticket. Go.
Yes. Oh, good morning, Musers.
Morning.
Morning. How y'all doing?
Okay.
How's it hanging?
God, what is going on?
Hello, you're on the ticket. America's favorite radio station.
Yeah, boys. Imagine my joy when you mentioned the non-elf Bottle Rocket, and then the Bottle Rocket himself. So I vote for Elf.
What just happened on the air?
Know.
What has been happening for the last 7 minutes?
Hello, you're on Ticket Radio.
Sorry, Georgia. I think I got cut off. Just what's going on?
Oh my gosh, how do you get back in? Hi, you're on the ticket. Who wins the E-brake?
Hey, Musers, is Gordon there?
Yes.
Please. God,
Jesus, I'm ready. I'm ready now.
I love him so much.
Okay.
We all do. We all love Gordo. Hi, you're on the ticket. Who wins?
Yeah, I'd like to vote for my naysayers and Hooter Brown.
Okay. Hi, you're on the ticket. Who wins?
It just won't end. It will not end.
I want a bank of calls.
It makes me want to end.
I want
not me.
to die.
Hi, fake Natalie Maines. Who you like? Oh, you cut her off? Dang. Hi, you're on the ticket. Who wins? Hello?
Hello.
At least we were going to get a vote from fake Natalie.
I will take naysayers with attitudes for 1,000, Alex.
All right. Easy. Just easy. Hello, you're on the ticket. Who wins?
Give me Horny for the win.
Good.
Hi, you're on Ticket Radio. Who wins?
Okay, but before you cut me off, I do have a serious question. I just want to say happy holidays.
All right.
And,
Moses Malone.
That's not a serious question.
You are on the ticket. Who wins? Okay, that is not his official nickname. We'll get rid of that, but we will register it as a vote, will we not?
Just to get this over with.
Yes. And Reese Davis has won the emergency break of the week.
Jalen Milroe often wears his own branded apparel reading LANK across the front. It's an acronym that stands for Let a Naysayer Know. Being told by his former offensive coordinator,
That
Bill
is
O'Brien.
not what I thought.
Is that not what you thought?
Boy, Let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Of course.
The professional's right in the middle of his lead. That's all right. I just keep going.
You almost lost me.
It got real tight up here as you were. I just want to let you know.
Reese, you were too smooth with that. I thought it was going down. It was going down out here. I looked over and
Oh, sorry about it. Let a naysayer know.
Let a
naysayer know. That's what we thought the whole time. That's what we all thought.
That's got to be Reese's first win.
Absolutely. 135 behind Norman. I solved the Amanda Knox case during Christmas. Hitskis.
All right, Reese, way to go.
But right now, wanting to come in and talk whatever with us is our maintenance man, Clarence Murphy. Hey, Clarence.
How you doing? It's
been a while.
It's me, Clarence Murphy, the maintenance man here in your building.
Yeah, good to see you. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year. I was just down in the boiler room giving the pipes the old once over with the monkey wrench and downloading the new security patches for the cyber plumbing and all that. And,
wow.
And I was streaming you guys on the Sports Day app, and I heard you guys talking about, football and baseball, and then it cut y'all off and went to the same commercial over and over again for about 15 minutes.
Well, we're working on it. We'll fix that.
Get to hear the rest
or maybe
of
you
your
can
story,
fix that.
But I think you guys were talking about football and baseball. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, I came by to tell you guys just how much y'all meant to me, and
that's really nice, Clarence.
And let you know that old Clarence isn't going to be with you much longer.
Well, why do you say that?
So I just wanted to say goodbye.
Okay, what's going on?
I'm flying out to Vegas about 9:45.
You're going to be gone for a while.
I'm going to put down a bunch of money on the NFC playoffs and play some blackjack until I burn through my Social Security. Yeah.
Don't burn through it.
I just wanted to say you're not going to see me much longer here. So
have fun.
But I saw where Blade Runner, Oscar Pistorius was allowed to kangaroo out of prison, and and did I ever tell you fellas my Oscar Pistorius story?
There's no way you know him.
Oh yeah, this is great. This is funny. Well, one time he and I went out on the town, and while we were at this restaurant, he herded a group of hot women who had wronged him into a bathroom behind a holocore door and said, "Watch this!" And he pulled out a deer rifle.
What? A deer rifle?
Yeah. And just hold on. It's a funny story.
Okay. How is that funny?
Well, he pulled out the deer rifle and put 12 rounds right through a clown picture that had taped to the end of a rifle range that was right next to the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so he shot a smiley face into it. It was great and everything. Yeah, and then he threw a hand grenade into the bathroom.
Oh, my
Good Lord.
I've never seen so much blood.
Oh, my
Good Lord.
But,
Clarence?
But anyway, hey, did I ever tell you about the time Mike Ducey shot a South African model?
What?
No.
Yeah, he
didn't
sure
happen.
did with his Nikon D3500. It was a great looking photo shoot too.
It's a photo shoot.
Anyway,
Okay,
he's a pretty good little photographer.
I didn't know he was into that.
I didn't know that either.
Well, I see you guys looking at my branded shirt.
Yeah, what does that say?
I see this is my own branded shirt. I created this. It says, "Let a naysayer know."
Okay.
Yeah, and I want to point out there's no hard R. It's naysayer, which is totally fine. Totally fine. Hey, did I ever tell you guys about the time Jimmy Johnson got in the Ring of Honor?
Well, we saw it last
He sure
Saturday.
did. It
Just
sure as
happened.
hell did. Anyway, that's a great story. I just want to tell you about Jimmy Johnson.
Okay, I thought.
Hey, I want to encourage you guys to head on down to the boiler room before 9:45 if you can. I just made some holiday cookies to celebrate the milestone birthday of my good friend and Hollywood legend Glynis Johns.
Oh, wow.
She's 100
Clarence.
years old, still going strong. In fact, she and I are going to Vegas together, although she hadn't answered my text this morning about
Well, there's a reason
when
for
to
that.
get together. What?
She's passed.
She's
no longer with us.
Just yesterday, in fact.
I'm sorry to break that to you, Clarence.
That saddens Clarence so much that I feel my heart seizing up.
Uh-oh.
I feel my heart seizing
No.
Oh, Glennis, how did this happen to her?
Well,
Taken
what
way too
happened?
young.
She's
Did
100.
Blade Runner finally kill her like he always swore he
No,
would?
he didn't either. No.
All right, well, I'll see you guys.
Okay,
Are
good
you
luck
okay?
in Vegas. Good luck in Vegas. We'll see you, Clarence.
Man, I was reaching for the save shot.
We got one up here.
Thanks, Craig. Oh, sorry about that. Brad C. responds on Fantastic Friday fan feedback, which you can call us at 888-787-1310 if you would like to sound off about something you've heard sports-wise or some subject that we've brought up that you have an opinion on. Feel free to join in the program. Brad C. emails and says, I just want to thank you, Gordon, for acknowledging the passing of Academy Award and Golden Globe nominated and Tony Award winning star of more than 90 films and Broadway plays, Glennis Johns.
90 films. Wow.
This one really saddened me as Mary Poppins was one of my favorites, and I sang along many hours of my childhood with Winifred Banks, Glennis's character in Mary Poppins. The dismissal from Craig and George of such a legendary actress is sad and, quite frankly, disgusting.
Oh, no. Sorry, Brad.
I'd like to invite them to do better.
Okay. We'll try to do better.
Sincerely, Brad C. So he's inviting you guys to do better.
You're into that Mary Poppins movie, too. You think that's a good one, don't you?
Yeah, I like it. It has some great songs in it, some classic songs. Spoonful of Sugar, that's great.
Medicine go down. Medicine
Chim
go down.
Chimney, Chim Chimney, Chim Chim Chiree. I take it you do not like that song?
That was put in there to try to get people to leave the theater?
No.
No.
That's a great song, Chim Chimney. And don't they sing another Chimney Sweep song up there with the big dance number?
With the horrible accent from Dick Van Dyke?
Yeah, it was really bad. Still to this day voted as the worst British accent ever committed to film was Dick Van Dyke. And he even makes fun of it. He made fun of it when we interviewed him.
Yeah.
When he was on our show. So, yeah. It's bad. What were the other great songs from Mary Poppins?
You can't name
Spoonful
one.
of Sugar. Let's Go Fly a Kite. That's a great one.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yes,
Okay.
awesome.
It's a good
Awesome
one.
song.
Would you like to hear Craig Rosengarten do that one?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yes.
Maybe we get Ham to do that.
Oh, man. I'd love to do that. Yeah, maybe Greg Rosengarten will sing it next time he's on the show. Shannon emails and says, Gordon, I just heard your reporting on the Perry, Iowa shooting. We did that in Muse in the News this morning. My husband and I live in a Des Moines suburb and are both big P1s. My husband is a teacher in the area, which makes this hit even closer to home. To answer your on-air question, Perry, yes, is a small town, and therefore the middle school and high school are combined in one building, which is not uncommon for this area, she says. So, yeah. Thank you for that that on-the-site reporting that you're doing from...
My kids went to a school that had that. It's not that way anymore.
Where it was combined?
Mm-hmm. Junior high and high school.
And then, George, I thought of you because there was a big event that happened on TV recently, and I didn't hear you talking about it.
What was it?
A big wedding.
Oh, I
Wedding
know this.
on TV. I don't know. Who?
A wedding on TV between Jerry Turner and Teresa Nist.
The Golden Bachelor.
The Golden Bachelor.
Oh, yeah, Grandpa. Yeah. Grandpa Bachelor got married.
I kind of wanted to watch that because, we got into the Golden Bachelor.
Yeah. I watched a little. You and your wife did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were pointing at me. I watched like the first one, saw him making out with everyone, and then kind of tuned out. But I wanted to watch the final rose.
Yeah, didn't he, as he was making out with all those women, didn't he get like 15 different dentures that clamped down on his tongue as he pulled his tongue out of there and he had caught another denture set?
I think so.
Like chattering teeth?
I do know a couple of times he was making out with one of them, and the background music was a little too loud, and so he got a lot of feedback in his hearing aids and had to rip them out.
Dang.
But he was very, very likable.
Yeah, he seemed like a nice guy.
Is he? I didn't watch.
I still think it's one thing for your kids to see you on The Bachelor. It's another thing for your kids and your grandkids. What's Grandpa doing? Making out with all them women.
He's making out with new possible grandmas.
You don't want to see your grandma, your grandpa doing that.
You don't?
Is the next one Grandma?
I used to watch my grandparents all the time get to third with each other.
Man, you're so gross.
You don't think that older people are allowed to enjoy their marriage?
That's fine, but I don't want to watch my grandparents do that, and I don't want to hear you say it either.
You don't? Okay, what about kiss on the lips? Is that okay?
That's fine. Your grandparents, yeah.
All right. What about if it's
You're
a
talking about like
kiss?
an 8th grader? So I'm going third base.
I didn't have that tone of voice, but
what about grabbing a handful?
Yeah. What about a playful pinch on the rear as they pass one another?
No, I don't want to see any sort of general hanky-panky between my grandparents.
Does that go back to your moment where you walked in on Ed?
JJ. Ed.
Boy, I haven't heard this story. What is
he
this?
He was not my grandfather. He was a friend of our family. And
wait,
he was
what is
looking
this?
after me.
But he was older.
Yeah, he was in his 70s.
And you walked in and what happened?
Well, he was looking after me because my parents were out of town. I was like in 8th or 9th grade. And we lived in a condominium complex, and I went down to his condo because he told me to come by around 8 o'clock, and we were going to go to breakfast together. And you know the rest.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Well, I knocked, and he didn't come to the door. So I was kind of worried about him because he's like 75. And down there, we didn't lock our doors. So I opened his door and went in, and he was still asleep in the bed, and there was some woman singing in the shower, and he was laying down on the bed, and he was completely naked.
And what did you see?
Gordo calls it a gray and silver Brillo pad.
You said that he had grooming issues.
Everybody did back then.
It was
Not everybody did.
In the 1970 and 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think,
especially 70-year-olds back then. Someone was born at the turn of the century.
Was it scarring? Was it psychologically scarring?
Yeah,
for you?
I didn't want to see JJ like that.
See, and that is why I think he is against elderly people making love.
Yeah.
Because of
I
that
am not
incident.
against it. I just don't want to see it.
It's why you've taken a strong stance against it.
You've even said that nursing homes, that they shouldn't be allowed to swap chlamydia there.
Listen to you talk. Do you ever listen to what you say?
No.
Gordon's a moron?
I have very little control as to what comes out of my mouth. I let Jesus do the talking for me.
No,
I'm
you
channeling.
don't either.
I'm
I
channeling.
Wish you would.
But yeah, and we have talked about those stories of nursing homes being hotbeds of sexual activity, and you're against that.
I don't like talking about it.
Why?
Because
especially
if they're
you would
getting
acknowledge
sexually transmitted diseases, I don't want to talk about it.
You would acknowledge that sexuality is a very important part of a healthy life, right?
Yes, that's fine.
And so, don't you want seniors to have a full life, a full and healthy life?
Yes, but I just envision people that are at some of those facilities because I've been to, I would say, probably more than you have. And some of them are not.
Oh, that's a bold claim.
And some of them are not in any condition to be doing that because they don't have their full memory, they don't have their full faculties about them, and they don't. And
but half young people don't either. They get blasted and start messing around with each other.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different deal.
Consenting seniors should be allowed.
If it's consenting, I just wonder about it sometimes.
Each other's chlamydia.
Well, we wish
Thank
the
goodness
Golden
it's the
Bachelor and his new bride.
That's what I meant to say.
A very happy, however long marriage they're going to have.
Yeah, Teresa, the woman,
they're going to make 50.
The woman part of this couple, she promised to stick by Jerry's side and, quote, most of all, to have fun for the rest of the days that we have left on this earth, which could be another hour. she said.
She said that?
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of funny.
Sense of humor, right?
Hilarious.
P1's responding to sweatpants talk. Eric says that men's sweatpants, we talked about this earlier, because I think that sweatpants are spare, and I cannot stand going outside the house in sweatpants because the pockets, any weight in sweatpants is just such an uncomfortable feel. And if you got your phone and wallet and keys in your pockets, then it's more uncomfortable than if you just went in jeans.
You feel spare wearing that, and yet you wore a Quick T-shirt to work for 10 straight years. And now you wear
says it can.
Some spare. What's the movie that you always wear?
That's Corby. Where's Ronan?
Yeah, yours isn't a movie. It's Rookie Rated or something.
Rated Rookie.
Or Rated Rookie.
Eric says men's sweatpants were only made for one reason: the strip club.
What?
Is that right?
Really?
Guys wear sweats to...
Wait, is that why guys wear sweats to strip clubs? You remember, what's his name with the gun? Alundis? No, it wasn't Alundis.
There's nothing more
Plexico Burris. Stuff in your pockets in sweatpants. See there? That's a fact.
Okay.
Yeah, so guys go to strip clubs in sweatpants, and I never thought of it, but why do they do that? It must have something to do with the ease of access. That's disturbing.
Yuck.
Hunter quotes somebody. This is in quotes, and I have no idea. It says, when you have weight-bearing sweatpants, it's a horrible feeling. Who would ever have said something that nuts? He says, I've also already accepted Junior's method of the action pant way of life.
Good for him.
Trey says that's where the hoodie comes into play. If you're wearing sweatpants and a hoodie, sweatshirt, all of your stuff should go in the hoodie pocket instead of the sweatpants pockets. So you can put it in the hoodie that goes over your head. No, that's a good way of carrying it.
That would be too distracting.
Or you can have the front, hand muffler
front
pocket.
May he rest in peace, Kirby.
Indeed. And okay, let's take a phone call. Jules in Tyler, you're on the ticket.
Good morning, boys. Welcome back.
Hi, Jules.
Hi there. I have two comments here. One is on Gordo, wanting to stop your automatic crap.
Payment. Yeah, the automatic payments on my credit card that I think I lose about $50,000 a month on automatic payments just to streaming services.
See that contract.
Yeah. And here's the thing. So I've been working for a major credit card company, and you can't just change your credit card number because those people will find you sometimes before you get your credit card. They'll go to MasterCard, Visa above the credit card company's head and say, give me that new card number. I've got to deal with this person. So you can't run from it. You have to close.
So tell them you lost it.
Your credit. And then when you open up another credit card, it's going to hurt your credit again.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. You got to call. You got to go. And then listen, Google it. Say how to cancel whatever. And it'll give you just step by step how to do it. Easy breezy.
Okay.
You can't call the credit card.
He's got to eat whipped cream today. He didn't have time for that.
Yeah, I know. That sounds like too much. You had too many words on the phone call, so I had to stop paying attention. All right, thank you, Jules. Dang it. So I got to call each individual and cancel all the barnacles that way?
You can do it online.
Or should I just close that particular credit card?
You could do that too.
The problem is some of those credit cards I think I've had since like the 1940s. Like I've had the same credit. Are you guys the same way? Like you have the same credit card account that from when you got your first credit cards. These are the first credit cards I ever had. I still have them.
Yeah. First one I ever had was an American Express card, 1988. Still.
And does it say it on the card?
Yep.
Customer since 88. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
And for some reason, that stupid thing that they printed on there inspires more loyalty in me because I don't want to break my record.
Yeah.
Yet I get no benefit from being that loyal customer.
Right. Huh.
All right, Gordo.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. That is the corner.
Get the Steak Podcast at patreon.com/sportsgreek.
This week's e-brake has already been yanked, but there's still plenty of misfires, misspeaks, and stop-downs from the Tickets broadcast week. We've got the best of the rest. It's time for the NIT-brake.
You're damn right. 238, Sweet Spot. Sean Bass, David Mino. Our first NIT break of 2024, and it was a 4-day work week, so we didn't have the normal depth we have, but luckily we had a lot of wheels-off moments with not regulars broadcasting over Dry Dock.
Yeah, we have a big Dry Dock slate. Every time I hear that song, by the way, now, Tom Sawyer, I'm going to think of the Von Erichs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just ready to run into the ring and start kicking some Freebirds' ass.
Damn right.
Ric Flair. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's start with this week. So we had Creighton Branch. Creighton was running the board for the Musers this week.
Yeah, Tyler
producing, sliding over, being New Fernando. And to peel back the curtain, board ops do their things different ways. The way they build the show, so you put in the promos, the bumps, the spots are in there loaded up, so you kind of just have to build out the day. Now, when I did it, I like to do it an hour at a time to not get too ahead of myself and forget something or put something in the wrong spot. Ham, I think you build yours out further.
I do the entire show in the first hour of the next shift. And
no matter how you do it, you're going to leave something out. Sometimes you might put in a traffic bed for a ticker bed, as we heard in the Open this week with Cray Tray.
Yeah.
Now here's a ticker. Creighton had a little bit of a mess up this week.
And 35% off your first order by using discount code Dallas. That's discount code Dallas.
Welcome back.
Sports?
Are we doing sports here?
When Breaking Cowboys news breaks, we're talking about it.
I want you to know that not only did you inspire your players, and certainly...
What just happened? Let's just let me read this and we'll go.
Stand by.
The playoffs are coming, and the ticket will make sure you don't miss a play. Remember to listen to the
I think Creighton got really lucky that he got fresh Musers right back from vacation, because you go a couple months and you get a little fatigued having to do morning drive. I don't think Craig Junes Miller would be too pleased with something like that maybe in February or March.
And I'm
just guessing.
There is nothing more humbling or just embarrassing than making a mess up when you're filling in for the Musers.
That'll make you get flop sweat real quick.
It was different. Like when I was part-time and I would fill in for the hard line, running the board and mess up or something, Corby would just laugh. It's no big deal. But if you mess up on that morning show, as our old buddy Cray Tray would attest to this, if you play the song too long, you're going to get it. All right, so there's Creighton, candidate number 1. Candidate number 2 is one Matt McLaren from The Invasion. David Tepper has been in the news, and there is also friend of the show, Greg Tepper.
Of Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
Now,
good dude.
I might make this mistake, too, if I'm not reading the name, just because we know Greg Tepper so well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, McLaren made the mistake on the air.
I don't know how many owners around the league would ever do anything like this, and certainly not Jerry. I mean, he seems to embrace, whether it's the love, the hate, it's the relevancy, and it's the Cowboys are anything but indifferent, and I think that's the key, and so he understands that and embraces that and loves it, and is fueled by both sides of that. And I mean, honestly, if Greg Tepper were to walk in this morning, I don't know that I'd be like, oh, look, that's Greg Tepper right there. And I think everybody is familiar with Jerry Jones, so I don't know that this is a problem. Isolated incident, sure. Maybe Greg Tepper needs to go to anger management or something. I've read where he is kind of known for having some issues with his anger, but I don't know why the NFL would want to separate what has been working so well for so long and keeping their owners quite visible.
Wait, Greg is the guy from Texas Football, right? David is the owner.
David.
Yes, yeah, sorry.
Whatever.
We may know Greg if he walks in.
When you said it, I was thinking of Jake Tapper. I was completely confused. Why was
you know what? That's probably why I said that, because I know him, and I don't know the other
we
guy.
know Tepper.
So
somebody in Carolina, whoever it is.
And also, when you mess up in front of Kalishaw, even though we all know Kalishaw, he's on TV.
Yeah.
He's been a columnist for decades.
He's going to get a point on this one.
Yeah.
And Greg's just probably getting ready for his day. He's a big P1. He's listening. He's like, wait a minute. I don't need anger. I mean, he's like and it's funny because he's like the nicest guy in the world. Too.
Greg tweeted about catching strays from the Musers later on that morning.
That's pretty great. There's Matt, old buddy Matty Beers. All right, we've got a non-ticket nominee here. It's very rare that we get someone from not the tickets.
Well, non-ticket won today with Reese Davis.
That's
on
right.
College Game Day.
So this one comes from Fox News. Now, I did not see this when it happened, and there was a former Major League Baseball player that died named Frank Thomas. Now, I only know of one Frank Thomas.
The Big Hurt.
The Big Hurt. He does commercials for enhancement now, so maybe that's what some people know him for, but I guess there was another Frank Thomas that passed away.
All the time we have. Jessica Anderson, Matt Bennett, thank you both for talking to us. We appreciate it. Thanks. We also need to quickly issue a correction in the In Memoriam feature that we showed just a few minutes ago. We misidentified the late Frank Thomas, the three-time All-Star for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Frank Thomas we showed you, unfortunately, was also a former pro baseball player. He is very much alive. We apologize for that mistake.
Okay.
The term very much alive.
All right.
Just sounds so childish. Like, you could just say he's alive.
So
very much alive.
A producer puts the In Memoriam package together. How do you not know? Like, if the Big Hurt died,
that's a huge deal.
We would know. That would be a massive sports death.
Like, we're stopping the NIT. Well, we'd probably finish the NIT break, but we'd let the hard line take care of it.
Sure.
That'd be huge.
That'd be top line ESPN. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. At the age of, what?
55 right now.
That'd be a big one. All right, over Dry Dock, DJ and Justin Montemayor, WIP 2.0 is filling in for the Musers. And they were doing a segment on house cats, talking about, talk about how deadly cats could be if they're bigger. And our buddy DJ made a joke that didn't really land with the crew.
I've heard this before, and this kind of backs it up, that house cats are the most murderous creatures that we live with. And the report that I remember a few years ago, how they verified this, I have no idea, but I totally buy into it. That if house cats were the size of, say, like a mountain lion or, whatever bigger cat, a puma, whatever,
Andres
they would
Galarraga.
just Okay, that was a Detroit Tiger joke. And now I'm going to make
Texas Ranger.
I'm going to make the shuttle to the sun a 2-person rocket now. And I'm going to be rolling solo tomorrow as you and Killer are flying towards the sun. Because
I think of Galarraga more as an Atlanta Brave, actually. I disagree with both of y'all. I could have gone Frank Catalanato, too. I wanted to go a little
No, that's a Ranger bingo. You should have gone with someone we only associate with the Tigers, like Brandon Inge. Idiot.
Okay, I'm stepping in here.
There's a lot
and I'm taking DJ's side on this. I think this is a very good reference. The crew got confused because they thought that he was making a Detroit Tigers joke, but he was actually making a Andres Galarraga, the Big Cat joke. His nickname was the Big Cat, and then he says, okay, I could have gone Catalanato, which his nickname was the Little Cat. So I think that was a very solid joke.
But the crew was probably thinking Armando Galarraga, the former Ranger and Tiger who nearly threw a complete game that Jim Joyce biffed
just a bunch of seamen.
I did like the Frank
show.
Catalanato callback right there at the end by DJ. I thought that was funny.
So I'm not putting that on DJ. I just think it was...
That's on the crew.
Got the signals crossed a little bit. But I think tip of the cap, very strong reference by DJ. All right, this was Normathon. Our friend Norm Hitzkes, who has been retired for a few months now, but steps back in, did a great job. We got to spend some time with him.
Yeah, and he also won an e-brake over Dry Dock, too. So he added to his all-time total.
I think this might have been his fill-in, or Normathon.
This was Normathon, for sure.
He had a slip of the tongue that was very funny.
I think you have the right to say it's a little bit suspect, and they've got to be smarter than that with the people that they 100% need. And Tyron Smith, we know he's going to miss games because of, his track record. And, hey, you got to get him in as much as you can. So if it's because of that, then, yes, that is pretty foolish because you need Tyron Smith on the outside if you want to get to where you haven't been. You need him.
And
my butt too. Yes.
Your butt,
you might need my butt.
It's a 10:31.
I know I haven't seen you in a while, Norm, but you haven't talked about my butt in a long time.
It's very Freudian there, Norm.
Laugh at yourself.
Y'all jumped on that fumble so quick.
That was very absolutely you bitch.
That brought us back to a number of months ago.
Oh,
the muscle memory of piling on Norm.
That was so fun to hear you guys with Norm again. Just bring back memories. All right, we got Jay King. This was over Dry Dock, and I believe Jay was dealing with some cold or some sinuses, something that everybody's been working with for a while. But when you work in radio, it's a tough thing to fight through.
Brought to you by Miller Lite, Rally House, Texas, and Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310 The Ticket.
Shout out to our player of the day, Smith. When you hear us mess up, text E-brake to 22126 and register to win a $50 gift card for Flip's Patio Grill. Cold beer, big patios, great burgers, and your favorite team on the big screens. Flip's Patio Grill. Grapevine, Fort Worth, and online at flipsgrill.com.
I didn't catch that. Could you say that again?
Flip's Grill. They got 2 locations.
That is radio gold. Marconi is in the bag for Jay King.
Dude, the fact he was reading that text e-brake, so he was having an e-brake to say text e-brake, and...
So did he sound like this all day? All week?
Yeah. I came in to produce the Hardline that afternoon and just said, hey, you think you would mind recording all my 40-liners for me today, to which Ham went, seconded?
Man, I love King for a J, but... If you're struggling like that, just stay home.
Yeah,
he started sounding like Pete Rose's sister.
Yeah, we all don't want to catch that.
Or like
we don't want to get the TC flu of 2016.
A Skinlanen cousin was producing that day. It felt like, oh, that is great.
And finally, Sean, we go to our producer this week, Jacob Dedamore.
And this happened right when we got off the air
for vacation.
We're just back on December
just dancing
8th.
On our way to the car from the Dallas Convention Center.
And this is just a minute or so, but this is how the Hardline that day began. And I wish I could play the whole 10-minute segment because Davey and DJ could never recover, and this was magic.
The rematch is on. It's Cowboys-Eagles, round 2 in primetime. Our Cowboys countdown to kickoff starts this Sunday at 5. Post-game afterwards. Brought to you by Miller Lite, Rally House, Texas, and Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310 The Ticket.
Take it away, Daddy.
Turn out the lights.
We'll have it next break.
214.
Oh, my God. Well,
is
that how we're starting? Big thanks to the crew. That's how we're starting. All right, can I at least have the theme music?
Jeez. It's okay, Daddy. I didn't read my first ticker either when I got here.
It is
or
3:38 on Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310 The Ticket.
What that was like a 3-pronged mess.
That 3:30 40-liner will sneak up on you. That first one when you're just...
It's my fault for not checking my email soon enough.
It is. It's your fault.
Yeah, now, I didn't get sent the email, but I still didn't check.
No excuses. It's the NIT-brake. All right, speed round of voting. I will start. We'll go clockwise.
Clockway.
I am going to vote for... I'm going to vote for the Hall of Famer Norm Hitzges.
You butt.
I'm going to go Jay King.
My vote doesn't count. So let's go, you butt, Norm.
You butt. Congratulations to Norm Hitzges for winning the first NIT-brake of 2024. Jacob, you've got the NIT standings?
I do, and that is the first ever NIT-brake win for one Norman Elizabeth Boatswain Hitzges.
Let's run those up a little bit.
He is one behind the 3-way tie of Junior, Ham, and George.
There you go. Congratulations, Norm, and congratulations, P1s. All right, it's 2:51. It's the sweet spot. Why Today Doesn't Suck is next.
Once again, The Ticket presents Why Today Doesn't Suck.
Sucking on chili dog. Sucking on a dog. Sucking on a chili dog. Sucking on chili. Sucking on a dog. Sucking on a chili dog, sucking on chili dog.
And now, here are your hosts, Sean Bass and David Mino.
You butt.
You butt, Norm. It's the sweet spot on a Mino Mavs game Friday, and at 2:59, it's Ham.
Thank you, Mino. Give Me the Vin brings you Corby Lee Davidson.
I don't know about that, but thank you. Today is January the 5th. We're all praying that Monty comes back on Monday.
Thanks, Corby.
And as Ham puts, Today is January the 5th. January the 6th Eve.
How many times has that joke been made on Twitter today?
361 days left in 2024, and on this date in history.
By the way, isn't Baldy going to D.C. tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Really?
Yeah. Do a reenactment.
Yeah.
He's just wearing his Langenbrunner as he's charging the Capitol.
LARPing.
Cosplaying.
Do you think at some point in our future there will be
got his horns on.
reenactments like the Civil War?
Yes.
Eating
There's
granola
no
on
doubt.
Nancy Pelosi's desk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going.
Yeah, Lando's
Baldy's
not going. Baldo, like, what is he like?
Yeah, they're the same.
Cheese sandwiches.
Cheese
sandwiches. That's it.
Baldo.
Baldo and Lando.
On this date in
Buddy
history in
cop movies.
1836, Davy Crockett arrived in Nacogdoches, Texas to aid the revolution.
Go Dave.
Was he overrated?
I think so. I think all those guys
We
pretty
thought
much
he
were.
was like the biggest badass in Texas history.
Of course.
Wasn't even from here.
He was the king of the wild frontier. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and like whenever they found out that, hey, these Texans need help, okay, well, I'll come in, and then it takes like a month and a half to get here. How is there still a revolution?
I mean, you couldn't load guns very fast.
Wars
back
were
then.
slow
back then, Corby.
They really were. In
They didn't
1886,
have Uber.
Robert Louis Stevenson published The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. In 1930, Bonnie Parker meets Clyde Barrow, my cousin, for the first time at Clarence Clay's house. I hear it was a big night. In 1934, the National and American Baseball Leagues selected a uniform ball. The American League before was playing with like a Super Ball.
Everybody's hitting like
10,000 foot home runs.
Yeah.
The Mule hit 39 home runs that year.
Couldn't believe it.
Do not taunt Super Bowl with his tail.
Yeah. In 1940, the FCC heard the first transmission of FM radio with clear, static-free signal. The tickets. When did we move over? What year was that? I was here.
2019, I don't know, not long ago.
No, it wasn't 2019.
We were 104.1 for a while. I remember that.
Yeah.
1700.
Big Sky Country, 1700.
Wow. How did 1310 survive? How did we make it?
When are we getting a clear signal?
We got it.
Oh.
It's here. Yeah, we got it.
I think the Soul Patch was the first show.
Yeah.
BAP just took it.
The Soul Patch.
In 1945, Pepe Le
Underrated
Pew
show.
debuted in Warner Brothers cartoons.
Sean,
as
funny.
Odorable Kitty.
I'll stand by it. Hilarious. Yeah, sexual assault aside, still pretty funny.
Like the horniest skunk of all time.
The walking sexual harasser. Yeah. The cat would walk under the fence and get a white stripe on her back. And no matter how fast she ran away, he was always hopping behind.
It is pretty brilliant. In 1957, Jackie Robinson announced his retirement rather than be traded to the New York Giants. Did he never play again? Was that it? I don't know.
You're the baseball historian here.
I am.
You've heard his voice before, right? Because he was on that Reggie documentary. I think that was the first time I've heard him talk, and I did not expect him to sound like that.
Reggie Jackson is a fine slugger. In 1959, Bozo the Clown premiered on TV. God.
Was that creepy for y'all back then?
I never watched it.
I don't remember
Yeah,
Bozo
he's creepy.
as a kid.
I never watched that show. Did you watch Bozo? Was that around when we were little?
Bozo kicked around to the
I was
80s,
aware
right?
of it, but it did not appeal at all.
No. We had better things to do.
You had Doodlebug at home.
We had
just look down her nose. at
Mom
those
the Clown.
Trash clowns.
we had rocks and caps, and we would keep banging the caps till we'd hear the little bang, and then move to the next one.
In 1961, the Beatles performed with Paul McCartney on bass for the first time.
They did Aqualung.
In 1996, Don Shula announced his retirement. going 24 years without a Super Bowl.
Dalton. Shout out to USA.
Do we win?
Oh, the juniors?
You're darn right we won.
We're going to win that every year.
Had a big fight right there at the end of the game.
Yeah, well, when you're getting pounded 6-2, I guess you want to fight.
Who is that, Sweden?
Sweden.
Bitch-ass Sweden.
What do they know?
Host country.
In 2021, the 86th Heisman Trophy Award was awarded to...
What year?
2021.
Tua. No? Devontae?
The Slim Reaper, Devontae Smith. Let's see. Birthdays.
Did Tua win one? Yeah, right? No?
I don't think he did, no.
Never won one.
We typically don't give those to Hawaiians.
Hot dog.
Birthdays, the great Robert Duvall. Tom Hayden and The Godfather, Gus and Lonesome Dove is 93 today. Charlie Rose? I don't know, man.
A little Me Too action there.
Is he
Got him
still
canceled.
alive?
He doesn't have a show anymore.
82?
Okay, all right. Way to go. Diane Keaton, 78. Woody Allen's Muse. Wore a little pantsuit in... Yeah, she was in The Godfather. What was the Manhattan that she kind of changed fashion, I believe? The Woody Allen movie, if I'm right. Thank you for everybody agreeing.
Annie Hall.
Annie Hall. Maybe that was it. The drummer for REO Speedwagon, Brian Hitt, is 70.
Ham?
Good name for a drummer, though.
You just wasted 5 seconds, so we can't get back now.
You should have Keep On Loving You right there, ready to go.
Can't fight this feeling anymore.
Man, I love this guy so much. Clancy Brown of Shawshank Redemption, the evil guard.
Legend.
And Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob, Lex Luthor in the Justice League animated series, and basically a bad guy in everything he's played, but does it with sheer class. 65 years old. Scary MFer, man.
You love this dude.
I love Clancy Brown. I just love the fact that he's in SpongeBob, too, and he's Mr. Krabs.
Brown?
Marilyn Manson is 55, and he's really...
He's really turned his life around.
Not really.
He's
How is he
missing a
not in
rib.
jail?
So he could gratify himself. That was the rumor.
I'm sure you guys believe that when
around
you
the
hear
lunchroom.
it.
Oh, everybody did.
Yeah.
Clancy Brown,
your friends told you.
The beautiful people. The beautiful people. Ham, what's his girlfriend's name? The Dolores?
Dolores.
I know, but what's her name?
Rose McGowan?
Something Rachel.
His girlfriend was Evan Rachel Wood.
Yeah, Evan Rachel Wood. That's right. Prefer you keep your rib inside of you. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
It is Oscar season. I mean,
yeah. You guys just
Very method.
look at the door thinking that she walked in?
I mean,
it's unbelievable.
Well, I didn't hear the door. Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
That makes it official.
Heather Dubrow is 55. She's on The Real Housewives of Orange County, Ham's wife.
Okay. Man, my wife found a new one, too.
Which one?
I don't know, but it's part reality show
Housewives
about
of
our love
Seagoville?
lives and part showing houses in Los Angeles.
Oh, that just appeals to everyone.
It's a team of what appear to be attractive ladies working for some realty and breaking up with dudes, and I don't know.
Seems you got it.
Well, I wasn't really locked in.
I believe it's called Realty Whores.
I doubt
on
that.
TLC.
Yeah, that's it. Realty whores. Realty
In fact,
whores.
two short, bald guys who I think are brothers might own the realty if somebody needs. If that narrows it down.
How short?
They're not very
Because
tall.
I might be in if it's
right.
But it was
past a
reported.
certain
They're
level.
always with hot girls.
It was reported to me that one of them ends up dating the one who just broke up with somebody from. Hold on.
Is this Buying Beverly Hills?
What's the NBC show that was all the rage that you couldn't understand their numbers?
The Floor?
Because every episode was so sad.
Cheers?
Not
The one where the
life.
chick, the dude burned down.
It's the life. The house burned
My
down.
So-Called Life?
Oh.
No.
Life Goes On?
Yeah, I know what
No.
you're talking about.
The
That was
Wonder
on
Years.
after the Super Bowl one
Yes,
year.
yes.
And I saw it and it was really
Heroes.
sad.
The Slap.
God, Jesus.
Mandy Moore's in it.
Yeah. That's the one.
What's
this
it called?
is us. This is
us. Yes.
This is us, oh, God.
Yeah.
Everybody
finally got there.
Sorry. That's the saddest show of all
It's
time.
like we just did a game show.
Nailed it.
All right, we'll play.
I have cancer.
Let's go.
I have cancer and AIDS, and I'm fat. That was the episode 2.
Man. He's on
Westworld?
fire.
Yeah. The great Bradley Cooper is 49. He of Maestro.
eyes.
Seen Maestro yet?
I have not. My wife saw it.
Yeah?
She enjoyed it. Have you?
It's in the queue.
Okay.
We did Color Purple last night.
And?
Pretty good. Although a little too sad for a musical.
Is Oprah in it?
She's a producer.
There's not enough
but
Von
she's not
Erichs
in
in
it.
it for
No.
me.
Yeah, they don't have enough wrestling.
Yeah.
Is there
Enough
wrestling
Rush.
in it?
Whoopi has a cameo.
Is Jim Ross in it?
Good old JR has a huge part.
Okay.
Why is
Yeah.
Robbie Ray being flipped? What's going on here?
He sucks.
He's hurt, man.
Tommy John, bruh.
Good for the Mariners.
He's not pitching at all this year?
Not till the second half. Late 2024.
Okay.
Like DeGrom.
It's a new trend.
Yeah. He and DeGrom are hanging out.
If DeGrom even gets back.
I would retire.
888-787-1310.
Corby had them put him down already.
Yeah. Just shoot
Take him out
him.
back. They get the cowboy doctor with his gun.
Yeah. Oh, my God. The great January Jones is 46.
Hey, Fat Betty,
Oh, Birdie.
Bam-a-lam, hey, Fat Betty, Bam-a-lam.
So she was in The Last Man on Earth, and I've not seen her since then. And I would like to see her more because I really enjoy her work. Dead Mouse is 43.
Dead Mouse.
Guess I just don't get it.
Sports birthdays. My true Ranger hero, there will never be another. Charlie Huff is 76.
Wow.
Still the greatest pitcher they've ever had. Sorry, Nolan. He was there longer. He did better things. He's the greatest pitcher in Ranger history. Right?
Ryan Drees, but yeah.
Okay.
DVD.
John
Give it
Karanka
time.
might have something
Jack
to say
Leiter.
about this.
Jeff Zimmerman.
Huff's got to be the only guy that's probably top 5 in every category pitching-wise, though, that they have.
For the club?
Yeah. Gotta be.
Leading in cigarettes, for sure.
Oh, my God, yes. That was
Him and Kevin Gross.
so awesome to just sit there and rip a lung dart while you're pitching.
Where's Padilla in this?
The Padilla Flotilla.
Mike Greer is 49. Says here the first NHL Blair. Believe that's black player.
Bam-a-lam. Thanks, Ham.
What kind of laugh was that?
I don't know.
We'll need that. JP Aaron Sibia.
Former Ranger.
Is
Great.
38. CJ Crone, not the disease, is 34.
Angel?
Longest home
Yeah.
run in Coors Field history.
Former Angel, for sure.
Eric Fisher. Era Fisher is 33.
The 1-2 or 1-3? Is that who we're talking about?
Yeah.
The big tackle?
Yep. Where'd he go to Cool?
He was a Chief, right? Is he the Chiefs pick?
Yeah.
Chief.
Were you a big dog in
Is
school?
he like
Was he
Dolphin.
Oregon?
He went to Central Michigan.
Okay, I was
Yeah,
going to say
that's
one
it,
of the
that's it.
Michigans.
One of the
Dang
weirdo
it.
schools.
I just
Chippewa.
Chippewa.
Got a fake turd in his
I
pocket.
just
Yeah,
didn't have
that's
the
right.
courage, Lando, to
Lando.
blurt that out.
Thank you.
Although I would have said Western Michigan if I had to pick a directional Michigan.
Born on this day, now dead. Man, this is a tragic one. The great George Reeves. The original Superman. Fat Superman.
Black and white Superman?
Yeah,
Yep.
like totally out of shape.
Give me George
That's how
Reba.
I want my Superman.
White?
It is kind of
Just
awesome.
everyday Superman.
God, I wonder how many of those original Supermans I've watched.
Superman.
Did he die on set? Is that what happened?
He shot himself.
Yeah. Because there was supposed to be blanks and a gun.
Don't
right?
no. It was suicide.
Okay.
Yeah,
They reference all his foibles in Hollywoodland. Is that the movie that they...
I believe so. Yeah. Great movie.
Played by Ben Affleck.
Film.
Walter Mondale died on this day in 2021. Golly, I would have said like 1990. Sorry to his family.
Was he the one who lost 49-1?
Yeah.
Tough L.
Yeah. He got his home state
He
of
got Minnesota, right?
Yes. Yeah. Reagan kicked his ass. Oh, my God. Jack Norworth, born on this day, now dead. He's the songwriter who wrote Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
We need to replace that
Did
song.
he monetize that? Like, he died in 1959. Like, are the little Norworth kids rolling in dough because of Take Me Out to the Ball
If
Game?
you have royalties, maybe.
But I don't know if that was a thing back then.
Yeah. I agree, Mino. Time for something new.
It's just...
It's pretty
been
lame.
around too much.
It
yeah,
is.
Just get something new.
King,
it up.
Guess you don't love America.
King Gillette,
No.
the
Take me
inventor
higher.
of the first safety racer.
That's a good one.
Born on this day, now dead. And let's see, George Brown from Kool and the Gang.
Did he die on set? Is that what happened?
No, it was Superman.
That was fast.
316.
Lando.
And dead on this day, still dead, Ham. Momofuku Ando, the inventor of instant noodles and cuppo noodles. Nothing wrong with that.
Greatest invention of all time.
Big deal
for
in college.
20-year-old dudes.
Oh, man, died on this day somewhere in Utah, I believe. Sonny Bono. Poor Sonny, smashing into that tree.
Sonny Bono skis and hits some trees.
Pete Maravich died on this day in 1988 at the age of 41.
Very creepy, too, because allegedly he had just played a game of full-court basketball.
He took a rib out, too, right?
And was asked how he was feeling and literally said never felt better, and I think died within 5 seconds. Isn't that creepy?
Wow.
5.
And Rogers Hornsby.
It's like Len
4,
Bias.
Died on this day.
3,
Did he say
Or dead
I
on
never
this
felt
day
better?
and died on this day.
2,
Probably.
Yeah.
2,
And that's why today doesn't suck.
and you're done.
Shut it down! Let's go!
Bye, Ham.
Broadcasting live from the TXU Energy Mothership at
Bye, Mino,
Victory
bye,
Park,
four.
hard by the
Get well
AAC.
soon, Monty.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Coming down with another ticket.
Here he is, the Cobra. Here's Cobra.
Oh! I have to say, not being a member of the Peloton community, I am interested in how often something like this has actually happened. And mainly, I think it's with athletes. Former athletes that, are trying to stay in shape and, do their thing that are
Thank you.
on one of these great big classes with how many people could be in one of the classes?
Several hundred. I don't know if it.
250, 100.
I don't know if it gets into several thousand very often, but it's not uncommon to find 500 people in there.
Hang on, I think Peyton has a...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Peyton?
250, 100,000, $250,000.
By the way, Peyton...
How's she doing? Did we
she's
check
not
on
doing
her?
good, man. She's not. She went down there to that Texas game. That's Peyton Yeager from Fox 4. She's not handling it well at all.
There's so many farts in my ear.
It's the first time that's ever been said on the station.
She said her soul was left in New Orleans, so pray for her.
Man.
But yeah, I wonder how many times, like after a game or whatever, when these Peloton instructors are like, okay, everybody, let's keep moving, let's go, let's grind hard now, let's go up the hill or whatever, that they make fun of somebody that may be in their class.
Yeah, that's weird. And I will tell you, as a longtime Peloton guy, Mark.
Pelotonian.
I haven't listened to an instructor talk in 8 years.
Why?
Because I'd rather watch my own TV show and just keep up with the class.
It's not Inspirato?
Well, I'm sure it is for some people, but I'm going about my business and I'm getting my...
Do you think you're in the minority? Or is that the majority?
Yeah, probably. There probably aren't as many people watching JT O'Sullivan break down quarterback tape.
Not that minority. You know you're in the minority there, but just not listening to the instructor.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they're more focused on their workout than I am as I'm multitasking.
Right. Well,
Bob's a badass.
But this story's great. Like, my instructor could slander me the entire workout and I wouldn't know about it.
Right.
Bob Slurm.
Okay, but for Christopher Nolan to find this is awesome.
Noted director of Oppenheimer and Batman and Tenet, Christopher Nolan, and Inception, was doing his Peloton class when out of nowhere, he's just sitting there riding and trying to get up that hill and running up that hill.
He's biking up that hill.
When he hears this.
This song is from the soundtrack of a movie called Tenet. Anybody see this? Did anybody see this besides me? Because I need a manual. Someone's got to explain this. Yeah, I'm not kidding. What the was going on in that movie? Do you understand? Seriously, you need to be a neuroscientist to understand. And that's 2.5 hours of my life that I want back. I want it back.
But keep pushing, everybody. Let's go. Is that typically...
Great.
Do they cuss that much?
Some of the instructors will cuss, but
effer.
that was extremely casual and a very unrequested movie review in the middle of our workout.
Like, does that happen often? Just off the cuff stuff? I mean,
I don't think so.
Ricky, do you need to take it?
But again, I've had mine on mute for a long time.
I think there's a guy named Ricky going, wait a minute, what? How do they know?
Boy, that's hilarious.
It's awesome. So
poor dude. He's probably thinking, stick to sports, lady.
So he...
Shut up and dribble.
He brought it up. Like, he mentioned that, like, my Peloton instructor took my movie down. Well, she found out about it, and she took to her Instagram page.
Whoops.
Yes.
I'd like to say whoops.
And she said, her name's Jen Sherman. Jen with 2 N's. Jen Sherman. And she said she was just, quote, running my mouth off like I'm known to do. She goes, I may not have understood a minute of what the hell was going on in Tenet. That S went right over my head. But I have seen Oppenheimer twice, and I loved it. That's 6 hours of my life that I don't ever want to give back. So you're good at that one. Yeah.
That's awesome.
She invited Christopher Nolan to come back to her studio to work out with her, promising that the class would be, quote, insult-free.
What the F is this S?
Is anybody saying this crap? So Nolan said, I was on my Peloton, I'm dying, and the instructor started talking about one of my movies and said, did anyone see this? That's a couple hours of my life I'll never get back. And then he goes, when Rex Reed takes a dump on your film, he doesn't ask you to work out.
And in fairness, she's right about Tenet.
I never saw it.
I
think it's great.
I wanted to love it, and it just gives you a headache. You thought you could walk us all through it, Lando?
Couldn't walk you all the way through it, but it's fun. I like the movie.
No, it's fun as long as you don't care about the plot points, and that's a curse where I want to read, I want to know more, I want to dive deep, and my brain...
You can dive deep into that movie.
My brain was hurt. Well, Inception, if you dive deep, it's a rewarding journey where you're like, oh... And with Tenet, it felt like 2 levels above that where you're like, bro, I guess...
can't do it.
I guess I'm just not smart enough to get this.
Well, that's what she said. You got to be a rocket scientist. The 3rd season of the hit HBO series White Lotus has added 6 new cast members, including Michelle Monaghan, she from Gone Baby Gone and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and Parker Posey from Best in Show.
She just looking for Buzzy Bee this whole...
Is it Buzzy Bee or Busy Bee?
Oh, it might be Busy Bee.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned
I think Busy Bee, if she's in a movie, Busy Bee needs to make some sort of little behind-the-scenes appearance. Yeah.
A little
cameo.
Easter egg.
Right, in every movie. Or she has to act like Dazed and Confused, the senior yelling at the sophomores, get down on your back, bitches, and fry like bacon.
That's right.
She was so great in that.
You played that part amazingly.
I'm not even joking. So, it's going to be set in Bangkok, Thailand, And we'll be shooting here very, very soon. They say the plot details are being kept under wraps, aside from the fact that it will follow a new group of guests at a White Lotus resort property, and I can't wait. Can't wait. By the way, I'm all caught up on Fargo.
Okay, I broke the seal today.
Okay.
I'm 1 in.
No, you're only 8 behind or whatever, and
Okay.
they'll go by pretty fast. But we mentioned that part of the there's a million characters in it, but one of the characters is a police officer, and she is married to an aspiring professional golfer.
Yes, I saw his tour-worthy driver swing today.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it.
And it's one of the most hilarious sports scenes you'll see in TV because his swing is literally looks like it belongs in the April Fool's Open.
Yes. It
no
looks like
knock to those guys.
Day one of person grabbing a golf club in their life.
Yet he finished second at Hilton Head.
That's right.
He told us
Yeah.
in that. Well, there's another scene in which he's down there in the simulator again hitting, which you'll find equally funny because he's trying to work the Fargo accent while he's hitting big fades, and his swing is so bad, and it's just absolutely hilarious. But I am...
it's big time for golf simulators.
Yeah. I am caught up on it, and I think that you will enjoy it quite a bit.
I enjoyed number one. A lot going on there.
And that guy, the golfer, the pro golfer, is in White Lotus season 1.
Okay. Oh.
Did you see season... Yeah, you saw season 1. So if you remember, that's the guy that... You remember the drugged out... He was sober, and then he got the hotel manager.
Yeah.
That got back on drugs.
Yeah.
And one of the scenes was
this was his triest?
Somebody opened the door, and
there
was a man standing with his buttocks splayed.
I actually do.
That butt belongs to the pro golfer in Fargo.
Wow, he's a fast riser. He doesn't have to speak through his bottom this time.
No, he doesn't at all. The Pat McAfee show. So I ratings came out, I guess. I'd never seen anything concerning his show, and I've never thought about ratings for his show, and they weren't real great. Matter of fact, there's a huge drop-off from where, what, is it First Take that precedes it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a huge drop-off, and then I guess there's a jump after he leaves for whatever's on after. Whatever, it's not what I think a lot of people thought when they figured Pat McAfee would rule the roost on daytime television.
Yes.
And so he talked about it because these came out either this morning or last night.
Well, I believe there was a story in the New York Post yesterday or the day before sharing the ratings, and I believe McAfee today was saying those aren't the real ratings. And then ESPN put out a release that confirmed what he said, but it's doing the exact same thing that we get nowadays, that if you talk to anybody in the business, they will say this is an issue, where when they introduce, and the NFL does this too, when they introduce the new streaming numbers, it's sort of keeping your own score on the golf course stuff, because there's no way to confirm, like Netflix or any of these.
Yeah.
There's no rating service for streams.
It's just, this is what we have according to us.
We would like to tell you we've had 100 million people watch our stream.
Yeah.
And just add that to our TV ratings, and then advertisers, please pay us this number we just came up with. And they're all like, well, wait a minute, there's no way to account for that. There's no way to make sure you're not lying. So he was accusing a mole at ESPN of spreading bad tidings about him.
Not just a mole, he literally called a man out by name on TV today. He called out Norby Williamson. And yes, I'm very familiar that my name is very close to being Norby, and I'm not comfortable with that.
Kirby Davidson.
Norby.
I wonder if he's the snake.
He's a 4-decade veteran of ESPN. It's executive editor and head of event and studio production. He is not a big wig, a huge wig.
He's a 4-decade guy?
4-decade guy. He's been there since the beginning, and Pat McAfee just called him out like, this guy is sabotaging our show.
Not only did he do that, but he called him a rat.
Yes, he did. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
I know. The ball's on that guy. And we got to go. We don't have time. But you know what? That was fun. That was a great Enews, dude.
I had the time of my life.
It was awesome. All right. Tonight, at Trees in Deep Ellum. Man, it's been a minute since I've been in Trees. It's the Emo Night Tour, a tribute night to the music that was never just a phase. Tonight and tomorrow night at Billy Bob's, where I was at over the break, the Josh Abbott Band. Hey, Josh.
Hey, guys.
Lately I've been thinking
I could leave this town.
Remember, he was the one that
Cut back on my drinking.
had to apologize to his wife on like Instagram or something for cheating.
Oh no. So anyway, welcome to town.
It was a while back, long time ago.
Everything's cool now.
But it all played out on social media. Like she took it to social media, he did. I'm like, can't you just? Why do you go public?
Did they survive that?
I don't know.
Everything's cool.
I hope so. At Dan Silverleaf in Denton, Josh Weathers. At Club Dada, New Avenues, which is Work in Progress's board op, Connor Caldwell's band. We have a ticket employee.
Awesome.
That's got a kick-ass show this week.
They're apparently touring in a month or two also. Like going to Tennessee.
Egypt.
Not Egypt.
I saw them at Caves once.
Crank this up. Heck yeah, man.
It's cool.
It's very cool. What does Connor do?
I don't know about the cowbell.
Connor sings and plays guitar.
We got a superstar in our midst.
Yeah.
And his name is Connor Caldwell. That's good. That's tonight at Club Dada.
It's a strong name.
Saturday at the House of Blues in Dallas, the Pink Floyd Laser Spectacular, which I've done. It was a long time ago.
Shrooms?
I'm sure something. Yeah.
Uppers?
Yeah, uppers.
Downers?
Can you imagine?
Jolt.
Just doing, lots of jolt and cocaine and going to the Pink Floyd Laser Light Show.
Bro.
Smash!
This is so good.
At Trees in Deep Ellum, Fugitive, born of bands formerly Power Trip and Creeping Death. I think they play churches, too.
I think so.
The song is called Hell's Half Acre.
Yes. Maybe that's the bit of hell. It's only a half acre and they squeeze everyone in there.
Well, we could use some space to spread out here a little
golly,
bit.
guys. It sucks.
Boy, Lando's headbanging in there.
You like this?
It's my scene, actually.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Like, what would you describe your scene as?
When he's not watching Laverne and Shirley.
No. Classic rock, but also I like heavier stuff. More metal.
So what's your jam metal-wise?
Who's your Mount Rushmore of metal?
Pantera, Metallica. I'm really into Gojira. Yeah.
Bingo. Okay.
Gojira is a bingo, by the way.
All right. I respect. At Arlington Music Hall tomorrow, in 1999, a tribute to Prince. At Tulips in Fort Worth, Slaughter Beach and Dog.
I think it's just one band. I think it's Slaughter Beach, Dog.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Why would they... Who has a comma in their name?
Slaughter Beach Dog.
Beach Dog.
This is not what I would expect Slaughter Beach to sound like.
No, Slaughter Beach Dog.
These guys sound like the Shins.
I know. And the Shins sound like the Shin should, like a shin. Tomorrow at It'll Do Club at Fair Park, Gene Ferris. At the Lexus Box Garden at Legacy Hall, Graceland Ninjas. I'm in.
Come on, I said, show me your sexy dance, mama. Come on, I said, show me your sexy dance, baby.
Me likey.
Oh, yeah.
Sexy dance, mama.
At Dan Silverleaf in Denton. Oh, my God. Turnpike Tribute Doors. A tribute to Turnpike Troubadours.
Bingo.
Already? We already have a tribute for Turnpike.
Oh, my. Corby.
What?
Doncic out, Lively out, Williams out, Exum out, Holmes out, Kleba out.
Sports.
So Kyrie versus the Trailblazers tonight.
Just don't get hurt. At Stereo Live, Dirty Snatcha. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Let's go.
Oh, here comes the drop.
Here it comes.
Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, they keep expanding.
Oh, nope.
Almost.
No way.
I'm definitely throwing cake into the crowd here.
Oh.
This is pretty. This is our wedding song.
God. Sunday at Dan Silverleaf, the Royal Hounds. At Rubber Gloves, Cannibal Boom. Oh, here are the Royal Hounds, I guess. Country?
It's a weird mix. I wasn't really sure.
With women, but they never knew.
Hold on, Dave.
There was a time that I used to two-time a time or two, but my two-time makes on top in a blaze.
Yay.
All right,
Come on, Norm.
At Rubber Gloves, Cannibal Boom, Flesh Narc, Answering Machines, and Dirty Dan and the Basketball Boys.
Wonder if we could beat them.
Monday at the Cambridge Room at the House of Blues, Reason. Wednesday at the House of Blues, the Charlatans. And Wednesday, here are the Charlatans. I like. At Revelers Hall in Oak Cliff, Shelley Carroll. That's on Wednesday. At Thursday at the Addison Improv.
Okay, Carroll.
Aries Spears.
You do an impression of Shaquille O'Neal, and apparently Shaq loves your impression, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I was in L.A. A long time ago when he was still with L.A., and I'm driving down the street, and I'm parked at a light, and this big black SUV pulls up alongside of me. The windows were rolled up, tinted black. I ain't think nothing of it. So I'm sitting at the light. Next thing I know, my car starts violently shaking. And I look over, and Shaq's in the passenger seat, and he's like, make fun of me on Mad TV. He was rocking the car, and like people don't understand. Shaq is just such a big kid, man.
Yeah.
I remember one time I had to go pitch him a movie idea, and I'm sitting in his mansion, and like 2 minutes into the pitch, he goes, "You smell that?" I was like, "Yeah, what is that?" He said, "I farted."
God. Yeah, Doyle, it's funny. Also Thursday at Greenlight Social, Sam Blackie.
Hot girl DJ.
Ooh, really?
Oh, yeah.
And then it came out that he had a black baby.
Oh, my.
Let's see if Craig would like her. And
he would.
Apparently he would. Very much so. And at the Reconsider Lounge, a Morrissey cover band fronted by Dave's baby when he needs a diaper change. Wells Let You Know.
Okay.
A Led Zeppelin cover band comprised of Tyreek Hill's Love Organ, Black Dong, and a Bare Naked Ladies cover band fronted by an afternoon drive host on excessive paternity leave. It's been 2 weeks since I've been at work.
Yeah.
All right, $6.50 on the ticket.
Get the Steak Podcast at patreon.com/sportsgreek.